Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Call of Cthulhu, Path of Perdition. My name is Alex Xander Rubitsky. I will be your keeper of arcane lore for the evening. You may just call me the Keeper. I am joined, as always, by my friends here from Internet Remix, joining me with their cast of disaster gang investigators. I am joined, of course, by Split Guardian.
Sound of Beretta being cocked.
Clever. You get points for that. Joined, of course, by Atwis.
The gang's all here.
Upgraded Moon, also known as Jordan. Did you just wheeze or explode on camera? What?
He took an inhaler pin.
I wasn't
Sometimes
looking.
you just need a hit, bro. I don't
Sometimes you
know.
just-
Sometimes, dude, sometimes that albuterol sulfate just fucking hits different, you know? It's nice.
National Crisis in the Flesh Suit, Bro Dingles.
Hey.
Whoa.
Fuck!
Uncalled for.
I meant that in reference to Sunil. But then I realized I'm not introducing Sunil, I'm introducing Bro. Oh shit, it's coming out. Alright, here we go.
You straight up talk to this man like he Kristen.
Hey, Xander, roll an impulse check.
Oh shit. My apologies. The wires got crossed there.
Introducing Sunil Day playing Brodingle.
Yes, playing Bro Dingles. Yes, featuring Sunil Pandey as Bro Dingles. Oh, Lord above, my apologies. And last but certainly not least, we are joined by Kristen Trzynski.
Hi, I wasn't bullied this time.
She's lying. So anyway,
No!
if this is your first time joining us tonight, y'all, why? This is episode 6. You need to go back and watch the others to understand what is going on. Like, we are deep in it. But either way, welcome. This is episode 6 of our 9-part Call of Cthulhu series set in the 1920s of America as part of our annual Camp Streamix event where us here at Internet Remix, 3 teams, Team Annihilation, helmed by yours truly, and Team Fallen and Team Murder, have streams to raise money and see who can be the best team of all, but all through the veneer of fun and friendship and actual, not real competition. It's for funsies. Don't be a dick. If you want to know more information about that, please check out our social media. There's a lot of information over there. Our Twitter and our YouTube has everything you want to know. If you want to donate money during the stream, but you don't feel like donating necessarily through Twitch or Twitch, you can donate through our Coffee. Again, you can find that information on our social media. So go check out our Twitter at Internet Remix. But yes, when last we left the 1920s disaster gang, as they have become known to themselves, self-fulfilling prophecy, really, having discovered that their acquaintance, James O'Connell, was unconscious in the Madrid hospital, they went to go visit his room while James experienced some strange, disjointed flashes of memories and half remembered thoughts and imagery, and a strange dream involving a bar with some centipedes lurking out of the bathroom. Before being woken up and rejoining with his companions, everyone spoke to a delightfully nice local who is completely fine health-wise, named Jerry, who's nothing bad's gonna happen to Jerry at all. He just touched a little uranium. He's okay. After that, the group convened and discussed their next move, interviewing locals of the town of Madrid, mostly around the Mineshaft Tavern, finding about some couple of ghost stories that are heard around here. And so as everyone kind of began to, get the feelers out to prepare for what they wanted to do next, everyone agreed that their next step would be to go check out the Cold Fire Mine, a local nickname for the Morgan Jones mine, which has reportedly been haunted and has been home to some missing miner cases recently. But before the group could make it, as they were walking down the street, a pair of motorcycle cops pulled up at the Mineshaft Tavern, one cop going inside, one beginning to smoke a cigarette outside. As the group was passing by, this cop saw the 5 investigators and immediately pulled out his gun, pointed it at the party, and informed them and his partner that, that they were under arrest. And that is where we left off last time on Call of Cthulhu. Last time on Dragon Ball Z. Yes. So, to leave it off with where we were. Yes. So this cop had just pulled out his 32, which Mason, you last asked me if this gun that the cop pulled out happens to be the same. The gun happens to be the same as the one that shot you. How about real quick while he was just now talking, give me a spot hidden check, if you'd be so kind.
Spot hidden. Let me go in.
So here's. I'm glad you failed this roll for 2 reasons. One, you didn't fail by much. You could always win luck points if you want to. 2, we have not yet on this show talked about the pushing rolls mechanic. And it's been brought up before in previous discussions. We've never actually implemented it yet. Pushing a roll is something you can do on almost anything except for like combat-based checks and some other circumstances, where if you fail a roll, you can say, I'm going to push that roll. You get to roll again to see if you succeed. Pushing it is usually like, what extra risky step forward are you doing to make this roll again? So if for example, if you're trying to break down a door and you fail your check to break through it, if you I want to push the roll by really throwing my full body weight against the door carelessly, you get a roll, and if you succeed, you crash. You succeed, no additional effects. However, if you fail, you might either fail forward, such as you do break through the door, however your shoulder's now just dislocated from the impact. Alternatively, it can be a worse failure. You can be not only did you just slam at the door to no effect, you hit the ground, you crack your skull against the floor, and you black out, So it could be, that's an extreme case, but that's similar roughly to how you could do that. So if you so decided, you could, if you had any thoughts on how you could do such a thing, push the roll to try and succeed. Up to you.
I'm trying to think of a way that, because how far would you say the officers are?
Oh, he's a good 20 feet from you, because he was just smoking a cigarette against the front of the Mineshaft Tavern and saw you, and immediately he's approaching with intent, but he's still there's still a decent amount of space between you, so not to of course inform you as to what you should do or plant ideas in your head. One such possibility would just be instead of you're glancing at, maybe Mason is being a bit more overtly trying to get a look. Maybe that entails moving closer or craning the head in a way that failure could result in something bad happening, possibly, but just a way that you're being a bit more risky or going the extra mile to get a success. Up to you. Don't feel like you have to push it. I'm just bringing it up now because it's a failure and it's a good mechanic to bring up in the roleplay.
Okay.
Otherwise, failing that, you can always just spend luck points.
Yeah, but that's 10 luck points, and I'm I don't know about that.
Right.
I feel like I have a way that I can do this without pushing the roll. But I just kind of want to do the push the roll mechanic because we've just been talking about it. So Mason's gonna stare at the gun the entire time that the officer's talking to him, and then everything happening.
Look at the gun.
Mason is Mason's dead staring at the fucking gun, twisting around a little bit to maybe take a look at it, but his eyes are always just kind of fixated on.
Okay,
that
I
gun.
can see room for how this would go wrong. It's reasonable. It's a little light, but I will allow it for the sake of a push mechanic roll for this time around. Usually things got to be a little bit more overt than that, but I think that there's enough reasonable room to make that work. So go ahead. You may roll again since you're pushing your roll. If you fail,
and this is there's no bonus die. Or
no,
anything.
it's just a re-roll.
Nerve-wracking. Okay.
Hey!
god.
You can exhale a breath.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
you
Ugh.
are deadlocked on this revolver, like to the point where like you are like tunnel vision tuning out. You can feel just the in your chest of just your heart thumping, just looking at a gun pointed in your direction. And had you failed this, you worry that you might not have been caught. You might have not been able to maintain enough self-awareness that you couldn't understand what your surroundings were. So like luckily you're able to like take a deep breath, inhale, and like focus, but also maintain awareness of what's being said around you and what's happening.
Yeah.
You gotta look at the gun. The cop is wielding a very standard issue for police officers, Colt 38.
Colt 38.
Yes,
And
it is a standard issue revolver that police wield.
I was shot by a
32 caliber. Yeah, Colt are 38 caliber bolts.
Okay. Okay.
So while
Good
that's
to know,
going
good
on,
to know.
yes, while you were focusing on that, so this cop pulled the gun on your group, leaned over his shoulder, called back up, at the Mineshaft Tavern, just being like, Alan, I found them! And like the other cop ran out, I'm like, what do you? Oh hell! And like grabs his gun and like levels it as you will, and the one who was outside goes, all right,
one gun on us.
Yeah,
Calm down.
What the hell?
hands in the air, keep them right there in
They
the air,
are.
please. Keep them all in the air. There you go. There you go. All right. If you got it,
You're under arrest.
yes. Don't move. He's like moving towards you guys very anxiously, but he says, "Your hands are in the air. Shit. No. Weapons. Remove any weapons you have, and put your hands back in the air. Shit." And then the other cop back on the porch goes, "It's all right, Cliff. I got him. I got it trained on him. Don't worry. Move very slowly. Any weapons you have on your being, remove them from your person and put them on the ground."
Why are we being arrested?
Why? What is going on?
Oh, interesting.
This wasn't a time for a Miranda rights. Like that, I believe.
Yeah,
that
Miranda
came
rights
later,
did not come
actually.
into the being until the 40s, I believe. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
And the cop is like moving towards you, and he just says, "I said weapons out on the ground right now. We know you have guns."
Are you sure you want us to touch him?
This cop begins to like stutter like frequently. The other cop up on the porch goes, "You gotta be fucking. Remove your hands very slowly. Grab your guns and put them on the ground. Any funny business, and you will be shot."
Just why not? Kit sort of like coughs a little, hands in the air. You've got a gun on us. Why not just have your partner come over and remove them? It's safer that way, right?
Both cops have guns trained on your group, and the one who's on the ground with you looks up at the partner, and his partner looks at each other, and they both have this moment of like, hell, that's a good idea. And the one up on the porch just goes, yeah. Cliff, keep the cult trained on them. I'm coming down. This cop walks down from the porch of the Mineshaft Tavern, walks like very carefully, gun out, drawn in your direction. Finger not on the trigger. This is not like despite their anxiety and nerves, they're not like wrapped around the trigger. They're like pressed up against the trigger guard, like is actual like a gun supposed to be handled. And they're walking up in your direction. This cop very carefully holsters his Colt, begins to points at James first and says, "Stand over here. You move over right here. Move right there. Moves and has gestures you to step like a few paces away from the group. Comes to you first, begins to like pat you down, finds your gun, removes it.
While this is happening, fucking
Yeah.
James is going to look at the rest of the group of just, are we doing anything or is this happening? Anybody?
God.
Hello?
Kit has facilitated this because Kit does not want anyone to get shot.
Mason's letting this happen.
Panicky people shoot.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right.
People shoot.
So the
So
cops.
while he's patting
Mason
him down,
just-
James is like look back down. Just, so why are we being arrested?
Yeah, real funny there, bud. The
I'm
cop.
being serious. Dead serious.
You kidding me? You act like you don't know what the law is.
I know the law. I don't know why I'm being arrested. When did I break the law?
He
What
just
happened?
got out of the hospital. He's lost time. We all have.
As they're patting you down, James, like, and this guy's removing like your gun from you, and your gun's the only weapon you have on you currently because you don't have Bosco's gun, right?
Right.
Yeah, so he removes your gun from
Bosco's
his
gun was missing.
He like grabs that, like places it down on the ground, like tosses like a little bit like towards his partner, and they like share a quick glance at one another, and they go,
No memory. Don't know a thing. Why am I being arrested?
I'm gonna say that it is irrelevant whether or not they believe that statement right now. That might come down to a roll later. However, for the purposes of just them stating, like, they look at you like you're like dumb or something's weird that they don't like. They say, you're under arrest for instigating a shootout.
What?
And finishes patting you down, says, all right, you back up slowly, hands above your head, points at Sybil next and says, all right, we know you got something strapped beneath that dress. So they kind of like look at each other and just go, ma'am, if you could please remove the gun from yourself.
I'm sure it's just this is a family thing, and I'm really not a good shot. Like, I promise, I'm really
Miss
not.
Cordova.
You can't
Take
hold on to
the,
the
take the
gun
gun
forever.
off. Hesitates, like, I don't want to feel up a lady even though she's a
She
criminal.
like takes up, just like puts it down.
Yeah. I gotta stop giving these guys like light Brooklyn accents because we're in the Southwest. They like toss like get
That's just
together.
what cops sound like.
This is what cops sound like. They all sound like they're from Brooklyn. Points at Sunil next. And says and begins to pat Sunil. Sunil, you don't have a gun on you, do you?
Zanil does not carry
Yeah.
any weapons.
Yeah, pats you down, says, he's clear. Send you back. They beckon you over James. Not you already. They already got James. I meant, sorry,
James
they got
or
James
Mason?
Mason. I meant they get
God
Mason over.
damn it.
Cool.
Damn.
Sorry.
Mason steps forward, and as the guy is patting him down, Mason says, "Careful, you touched the wrong spot. I charge you 15."
What was that? Like the kind of like looks up, like reaches for his gun again.
I will charge you $15 if you touch me in the wrong spots. I swear. I'm not hiding anything there. If you want to take a look,
I see. This
That's
guy's got
15.
jokes. Okay.
Hey, he's
Um,
telling you not to touch his dick.
I wish I wasn't kidding.
pats you down, removes your gun safely, and then points over at Kit and says, "All right, you're last." Begins to pat you down.
Sure.
Doesn't find anything on you, I believe. Yeah. doesn't
No.
find anything on you. All right. All 5 of you up against the wall over here, hands above your head. No funny business. The cop finishes, like, redraws his Colt, keeps it level, turns back to the cop who first accosted you guys and says, "All right, Alan, I'm going back in the tavern. I'm gonna place a call for the sheriff. I'll be right back." And he, no, sorry, Clifford. Sorry, he would say Clifford. This is Alan talking. Clifford, I'm gonna go back in the tavern. He walks back up. Clifford is his name. Says, "All right, now we're not gonna do anything funny. No sudden movements. We're just gonna sit here and wait for the wagon to arrive, and anything else that happens, well, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to start shooting. So maintain yourselves, please." And just kind of like sits there. The 5 of you are kind of sitting there amongst the wall there. So it is up to you guys. Can probably like reasonably like whisper amongst each other. Clifford does seem decently distracted with just kind of like keeping his gaze everywhere and like keeps flicking up towards the doors of the Mineshaft Tavern. So you could probably converse if you so choose. Otherwise, things will play out in kind of tense silence.
So we just got the one cop with us right now, right?
Currently, yes.
So James looks back at everybody again. You gonna do anything about this?
Can we? They took our guns.
He's
He's
just
got a
one
gun.
guy. We don't need guns. He's pretty
No,
close.
apparently we instigated a shootout and we've been very recognizable, and I have no idea when that happened, but I think that might have something to do with this. And Mason kind of points to, his just recently sutured gunshot wound.
Gotta tell you, I've been in many shootouts. Don't remember one in the past fucking week. I ain't about to get arrested for this.
I mean, if I can get in contact with my lawyer, then we'll probably be okay.
If tensions got high enough, something happened while we were just going at it for this entire week. If tensions got high enough, we might have gotten into a scuffle with somebody.
Wait. What if the fucking cops know where Jackson is? If we got into a shootout, maybe he's got arrested.
Maybe. And Mason pipes up, just kind of like keeping his hands in a noticeable spot, but like just still like sitting comfortably. You know, this isn't his first time interacting with police. So
For
it's
sure.
like, hey, so you mentioned that there was a shootout. When did that happen?
This cop like looks at you like, what game are you trying to play with me?
There's
no
no
games.
game.
Already told you. No memory.
To be completely honest with you, we all kind of don't remember what happened.
This is the first time we're going to be using this check. The stipulation for it is usually like you talk to somebody for a few minutes. I'll say that this conversation has happened a few times while everything's been going on. Can somebody roll a persuade check? Even though you don't have to, it doesn't necessarily have to be Mason. But if any of you have a high enough persuade check, feel free to take it. This is kind of like the fruits of bringing this up a lot that you don't remember what happened.
Okay, I've got a 60 on persuade.
Wow,
I've got a 70.
Well, I think Sunil's our best bet then.
Fuck.
So Neil, would you like to roll a persuade check?
I almost still want Jordan to do it just because it's roll 20.
Okay, but it's roll 20 and I notoriously roll low.
That is
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with that.
I need to roll low.
I will
Okay.
let you decide amongst yourselves.
Jordan, if you want to roll it because you're the one talking, go ahead.
I kind of did a little bit.
Okay,
Go ahead
go
and
for
roll
it.
it,
Then
Dave.
do it.
If I fail it, you guys are allowed to be upset at me.
We
No,
will.
we wouldn't be. It's dice.
I'll smack you.
Critical fail! Oh no! Oh, buddy!
Oh, fuck.
Jordan.
Oh, I'm so sorry, friend.
I'm sorry,
me.
dude.
That's
Oh.
my third critical failure
Fourth.
this entire
Fourth.
fucking thing.
Fourth.
Fourth, what the shit?
I should have rolled that.
Can
It's
you?
'cause here's the thing, Jordan. You notoriously roll high. I notoriously roll low. We're playing Call of Cthulhu.
That's
Can
so.
Bro roll just to see what he would have gotten?
That's not how random number generators work. So wait, actually, can you push a critically failed roll? I'm double checking
Let's
that.
find out.
Find out to see if Mason can push a critical failure on a persuasion check.
Sure, let me pull up the
Because
rules.
critical failures are. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Critical failure on your persuasion. You get shot in the leg.
You joke.
I
but-
don't remember shit.
Bam!
Stop
no.
talking.
God, that's awful.
He's got a gun. What does he have? His silver tongue. Put him down.
Hey, you get paid 15 an hour for that silver tongue.
I get paid more than 15 an hour. Thank you.
Ah, funny guy with his jokes. Okay, so
Funny
while
guy
I was
with
looking
his
that up,
jokes.
I will see that before that we address that eventually. The cop Alan comes out of the Mine Shaft Tavern and just calls down and says, "All right, I called the sheriff. Send a wagon. We're just gonna chill right in this spot and not do anything rash. And if anything wrong happens, well, it's on you, 5. Cool. I'm also flipping through persuade.
You can push it, but you can't use luck.
Gotcha. Okay, so Mason, how do you start to you start talking about you don't remember anything. This cop looms over you like he doesn't believe a fucking word you're throwing at him, and he's viewing what you're saying as pure insubordination in the face of the law, and looks like he's about to walk up to you and maybe pistol whip you just from because he feels like you're talking bullshit and are not even just talking bullshit, you're not just lying, you're intentionally aggravating him. So what do you do to push your point across and like really try to hammer in? It's like, no, I'm not fucking with you. I don't remember.
Dude, honestly, you can ask any of us. We're missing a friend of ours. We woke up in the middle of the goddamn desert just yesterday. What else do you want to know? What else do you
woke up in the fucking hospital.
I'm gonna say that your brazenness of being like, what the fuck else do you want me to say to you, friend, is the push.
Well, it's more of a panic that like the cops getting closer. He's like, don't
well,
hit me.
you need to specify exactly what the action is, and to, like, are you being a bit more brazen in this to push this, or like what is the push? How are you pushing it? Is what I'm asking you.
The push is that
genuineness.
He got more tense. James was like a little ways away from him whenever he asked what the fuck happened, and so he's just counting on that. Like ask any of us. I'm
interpreting that then as originally you were being like, officer, I'm telling you right now, I don't remember a thing, and it's turned into, hey, I'm telling you, I don't remember shit. Like just like you're yelling at a cop. Cool. So re-roll your persuasion check with the pushing it.
Oh!
Okay.
That's a spot hidden check. No!
I was about to say, why does it say 45? That's not a persuasion.
Roll.
It's still a 6.
No.
It's that's a spot hidden check.
No. Pause. All of the roller is it measures what the random die roller value was against the value programmed into that skill. You still rolled a 6 on a D100, and the rolling of the D100 is what matters. Even if you flubbed the programming of what skill it was, it doesn't change the fact that it's not like D&D where it's like, oh, my spot hidden skill has a +5 and my persuasion check has a +1. It's more like it's a straight die value measured against what's programmed into that box. Okay. I'm still going to consider that a 6 on a roll for your persuade. Okay.
Thank you.
The cop has been on an extreme, not kind, that's just a fact. The cop visibly does not relax, but visibly like lessened his anxiety, and the like tenseness in his face and in his body lessened into more of a profound confusion and overall concern of what's happening here. And he says, you don't remember a thing.
To be completely honest, no. The last thing I remember.
If you don't remember a thing, son, what are you doing all the way out here?
Honestly, I wish I could answer that for you. Last time we knew, we were on the California Limited, and then apparently a week has passed, and we're here. We're trying to find a friend of ours. Did you happen to arrest a man? Dark skin. His name is Jackson Elias.
Tweed jacket.
We know the
Smokes
sixth.
a pipe.
We were still looking for the 6th one of you. Your friend.
So are we.
The friend from. I don't know his name. Just very tan.
Tweed jacket. Fucking see him from a mile away. We're still looking for him ourselves.
I don't know anything about a tweed jacket, but I mean, you did have a tanner skinned friend with you. Yeah, little pencil mustache.
Yeah.
Him.
Wait. Yeah.
No, that's not Jackson Elias. That's another fellow that was on the train.
Spanish fella?
Spanish fella.
Spanish fella. He saw Jackson Elias out about his books.
Wait, what does he have to do with any of this?
He was with you when you were shooting up half the town.
We were shooting up half the town?
What?
Yesterday, yes.
Yesterday
Afternoon.
We were. What?
Wait, so we were in this town?
No, you were in Santa Fe.
Okay.
Yesterday. Afternoon.
So Jackson went missing before the shootout.
I don't know what this is about. Missing memory or somebody named Jackson Elias. So that's the name of your friend that we saw with you. Great.
No, that's not his name. We don't know who. Oh my gosh.
The fella. I'm blanking on the name of the fella.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that as an
Sal.
in-character blank. Oh, there you go. Cool. Never mind.
Salvador, the Coronado Mining Company fella.
I still have his card.
You do? You pull out the cards. Sal. Yeah, you pull out the cards. Sal Suarez.
James
Coronado
says that
Mining Company.
straight up. So I fucking still have
The
his
cop
card.
kind of like tensely a little bit, and like aims his like, reaching across, like,
Whoa.
Careful
It's
now
just a
there,
card.
friend. Careful.
It's a card.
This is the guy with the pencil mustache.
He walks
Spanish
forward,
fella.
and reaches
This
out and
is his
grabs
card.
it, grabs it from you. All right, be that as it may, we'll look into that when we get back to the station. There's a wagon on the way here. It'll be here in about a little less than an hour. We're just gonna sit real tight. We're not gonna do anything rash. Then we're gonna load ourselves nice and calm into the wagon. You're gonna have a talk with the sheriff about what happened yesterday. Yeah.
We
you taking us
can't
to
talk
Santa
about
Fe?
what happened yesterday because we don't know.
Well, then we're gonna see what the best we can do is, because there hasn't been a shootout like that in New Mexico since Frisco of '81. So
You're
we're
taking
gonna
us
be
to Santa
real.
Fe.
We're taking Santa Fe. It's 40 minutes north of here.
Question:
What's your question?
Is there a place in Santa Fe called the Sunflower Bank?
Yes, there is.
All right, I'll go with you. No problems, no issues.
I don't imagine you're gonna get much banking done behind bars there, kid.
Just a thing written in my wallet when I woke up in the hospital.
All right
The
then.
more answers I have, the happier I am.
It was yesterday. How could it be yesterday?
You guys woke up in the desert at 2 in the morning yesterday.
Yeah.
Salvador must have had something to do with it.
All right. Well,
he
we're
was, He
gonna.
was interested in all of Jackson Elias's writing and whatnot, and Jackson writes
Kid,
about...
the cop holds up his hand. Save the speculation for the wagon. We're just gonna be here real quiet, real calm. You understand? All right then. 5 of you. Don't do anything brash. If there's nothing else, these cops are gonna be leveled with you. They're not gonna keep their guns trained on you the entire time. And this kind of draws attention from various miners and locals. And the cop who went inside, Alan, starts talking with a couple of people who come out, both a mix of just regular day-to-day citizens and also people who look like more of an official capacity of the town. These might be some of the administrative workers for a company who do day-to-day accounting and other such things in the area. But just something that's all right, everyone, please stay calm, everything's under control. Addresses a few people by name, which gives you the impression that these 2 cops, or at least one of these cops at the very least, are very familiar with this town and probably coming here a lot, which might explain why they're not doing anything about the bootlegging that is very visibly happening in the building
Yeah.
behind them.
Yeah.
But after an hour, you can have some light conversation here and there, where these cops are mostly now just kind of keeping you guys quiet and they don't really want you conspiring at all until they have things completely under control.
How far away is Santa Fe from Madrid? From Madrid?
40-minute drive.
Okay, so
Yeah. It's a couple miles, yeah.
yeah, so it's not
no, it's not
impossible
across
for
the
us to
straight
have
state.
been there.
Yeah, I mean
We go to Santa Fe anyway. Now we just get a ride.
after an hour, eventually coming down the road, you can see a police transport wagon, small at the front, very big and bulky in the back, and comes rolling up another cop steps down, doesn't draw their gun, but kind of keeps their hand on the holster of their Colt, and just you can see that they're bringing with them extra handcuffs with them. You get the idea that these 2 did not have enough to cuff all 5 of you. So Officer Clifford just says, all right, now you're gonna put your hands behind your back. We're gonna cuff you. You're gonna get one by one into the back of the wagon. You understand? All right. One by one, you guys get cuffed, hands behind your back, and escorted to the back doors of the wagon. You step inside the back. They help you up. Sybil, they definitely help you up. Until all 5 of you are seated in the back of the wagon. Officer Clifford and Officer Allen converse with the driver very briefly. The driver closes the door at the wheel, begins to drive off, and you can hear behind the car these little brum, bum, 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 as motorcycles start and rev, and they begin to follow suit behind as you guys hit the road now. Seated in the back of this metal police wagon, which in the middle of the desert, definitely a little heat, little baking a little bit, but nothing too bad. The road is very bumpy, not very comfortable, but you can feel the truck pull out of the town and begin to drive north, leaving you 5 in the back.
Is there like an opening? Like, can the driver hear us, or can we hear the driver, or is it completely closed off?
It's completely closed off.
Okay.
It's like you're like in a tin can, basically.
So Neil, like, he can't wipe the tears that have been on his face because he has his hands behind his back. So he's like rubbing his face on his shoulder a little bit, and
You
he's
alright?
just like, "I'm just. We were in a shootout yesterday, apparently,
Apparently.
with that man who was not Jackson Elias. What did you say his name was again?
His name was Salvador. What's his last name?
What did I say? Suarez.
Something. Thank you. It's Dusty. Something must have happened. Something with Sal. Sal was. He was really interested in Jackson's writing. It seemed like he was kind of after something.
I remember I got his card because the guy wanted me to work for him, I think.
Well,
Well, he
he's a
might've-
mining fella. It would sort of make sense being around this mining sort of area. I mean, what was it? Jerry was talking about, getting people in from Chicago. It wouldn't probably be too much of a stretch to think there are others who are scoping places looking for new claims, I guess.
Yeah, James, you remember specifically that Sal Suarez is from Kansas because it says underneath on his card when you last read it, aside from his name and the company name, Coronado Mining Company, it had beneath it Lyons, Lyons, Kansas.
Well, maybe mining wasn't the kind of work that he was seeking you out for. You're a big, strong man. You look capable. Say that if he needed a group of folks who were encouraged enough to do something crazy, which, fortunately enough, Sybil, Kit, and I have kind of been that for the last couple of weeks, or 3 weeks now. We might have gotten played.
Well, from what the officers said, he seemed to be in the shootout with us, unless I misinterpreted that.
But he wasn't there when we came to. From what we know, there were other footsteps that we didn't quite recognize, and someone drove away after dropping us off at a certain spot and putting us in a circle and doing fucking something.
I
And we
wasn't there
did
when
get
you
away,
came to.
when you think about it.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, they haven't caught him yet.
Why
Well-
wasn't I there when you came to? Why wasn't I where you were?
You tell me. You made your way to the hospital.
I mean, the doctor at the hospital, he said you came in wandering from the desert, muttering my name and Sybil's name. So, who knows, maybe you were looking for us. Maybe you got separated somehow. That's the only thing I can, it's my best guess.
What were we shooting at?
The police, apparently.
Could be
Well-
police, could
Well,
be
not necessarily.
maybe if we were being pursued by a group, some kind. I mean, Vito's dead. Vito was killed. We could have gotten wrapped up in something like that once we got off the train.
Oh, if that fucking weasel accountant ratted me out.
Could have.
I'll fucking kill him.
If you can even find him.
How are
If
you
you
doing
get
for
out of the
Johnson?
situation.
I can find him.
Revenge isn't free, Sunil, unfortunately.
Oh no, I just meant the monetary gain.
Mm.
Sure, he's got some cash on him. He works for Mafia.
So, Sybil, do you think you're fairly certain you can get in contact with a lawyer and that would be helpful?
If there's a phone, then absolutely yes.
Well, if it's Santa Fe, I'm sure there'd be a phone. It's a
Yeah.
bigger town than Madrid.
Exactly. As long as there's a phone, I have a lawyer. I have a very good lawyer. And if there's any bail or anything like that, that's really no problem.
Okay. And if worst comes to worst, I could also maybe try and call my father and see if he can pull some strings.
Is your father a lawyer?
Nah, he's in local politics in New York. He's part of Tammany Hall.
Xander, would you say
Yeah.
that I would have a few connections in the law?
Oh, plenty.
need be.
You're a bounty hunter. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. No, even if you looked at your like suggested contacts thing in like the occupation list for bounty hunter, I believe one of the suggested contacts is like people in law enforcement.
There we go.
Yeah. No, you totally would. The ride continues, very bumpy and uncomfortable. Could I get James, Sybil, and Kit to all three of you roll luck checks if you'd be so kind?
Oh, fucking boy. Oh, fucking
Okay.
boy.
Is it at all possible? I can't pay luck to push a luck check, can I?
You cannot, unfortunately.
Darn it.
Wow,
Yeah.
2 extreme successes.
Green
Holy shit.
success.
So,
Oh, hey, good for you two.
Thank you.
Sybil. Let me just change the music here very quickly.
Heat stroke.
So Sybil, you as the wagon's riding along up the bumpy desert side roads leading up north from Madrid to Santa Fe, the wagon's constantly rocking and shifting. It's hot. It's not comforting, and the wooden benches, metal walls. It is all, needless to say, not a pleasant ride experience. However, you kind of realize that you guys still woke up kind of in the later morning. You didn't get a lot of sleep last night, having gone to bed around like 3 a.m. You start to find yourself slowly just like drifting off. You're just kind of in the quiet and the rocking. Your eyes get heavier and heavier, and you start to drift. You fall asleep. Let me change the music very quickly. You blink your eyes a few times, you think. That's the same song. Stop that.
And I'm in a spy thriller now, and it's really
You're in a
cool.
spy thriller now. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Everyone else gets a scary dream, and I get a cool action movie dream. Hell yeah.
No, that's not how this works.
Damn.
So, Sybil, you drift to sleep, and you're not sure how long you're aware that you are sleeping. You know, it's like you kind of realize that you've nodded off, but you've gone to sleep. You're so asleep to the point that you can no longer recognize that you're drifting off and wake yourself up. Like when you're like feel yourself along, you like snap yourself back awake. No, you have fully slipped into the slumber part, but you still know that you are conscious while maintaining the awareness that you are sleeping. And it's not that unpleasant. I mean, it feels like even though you're aware that you're sleeping, it feels like you are in a deep sleep. A nice respite, a nap. And you kind of realize that you're sitting down just like you were in the wagon. However, you're not in a wagon. It's not hot anymore. It's not rocking. It's not bumpy. It's motionless. It's still. And you kind of realize that you're sitting down in a large, very wealthily appointed dining room. You can see that there is a stone mantle and a hearth against a far wall. Ornate wood-paneled fixtures, paintings that are hung. Although as you kind of like focus on the paintings, you realize that their features are muddled and swirling, and everything around you is in black and white. And you're at one end of a very long wooden dining table, extremely polished to an almost mirror finish. You're seated in an ornate padded chair. Reminds you of some of the dining tables you may have sat at before throughout your life, at many wealthy dinner parties and homes of friends, and indeed even your own home before, well, But you're not alone in this room. You kind of realize that you're looking around, and your eyes settle across the table from you. At the far end of the other side of the other head of the table, there is a very handsome, suited gentleman seated on the other side. Very suave. Above average height and musculature, well groomed and oiled hair, paler complexion, piercing eyes, and an almost predatory smile that's just peeling at the corners of his face. Just sitting there at the other end, and in one hand holding a knife, the other hand holding a fork. Just sitting there, just smiling over in your direction. Not moving, just smiling directly at you.
Oh, well, hello there.
He just stares and smiles.
It's rude to not speak to your guests.
My apologies.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry for my rudeness. Forgive me. I'm just anticipating our meal.
All right. Well, what's our meal? What's the first course?
We have to wait for the guests to arrive, honey.
I'm sorry, did you just call me honey?
Yes, dear. We have to wait for the guests to arrive. We can't have a dinner with just you. Everyone needs to get here first.
I see. Well, if we're going to be on such close terms, could I get a name from you, dear?
I'm who I've always been. You know who I am. I'm Lester. Lester Goodman.
Ah! Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Lester, or I suppose be acquainted? I'm not quite sure what to go with, as apparently we know each other.
He just stares. Hungry, primal. And you hear this weird, rusty, tin-like scraping coming from somewhere back in a room of this weird manor you found yourself in. Just this grating sound that repeats and echoes. And Lester says, "Dinner will be ready soon, dear. We best finish preparing. We don't want to disappoint our dinner guests." And he begins to take his fork and knife and just shing, 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 scrape them against one another, constantly while just not blinking, constantly smiling. And, you think for a moment you feel something lurking behind you, like a shadow that stretches over you, and you feel this hot breath against your neck, and then the wagon rocks, and you snap back awake as you hit a minor pothole in the road.
Ah.
And you are awake again. As for everybody else, the wagon comes to a complete stop after about an hour here on the road. Sybil took a little power nap there for a moment. And you feel the wagon come to a stop. And you hear from the front of the wagon, the carriage door opens, so whoever's driving gets out. You hear footsteps walking around. You hear the two motorcycles bum 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 bum. Your little click of an engine turning over as both motorcycles stop. Few footsteps. The back door is unlocked. The wagon door is open. Very bright light. You guys have been kind of in this little, back wagon with only a minor slit of light coming in through the two doors, but it's very bright outside. Now it's around midday. Two cops, the driver and Officer Allen, you've heard him referred to as, says, "All right, one by one, get down and out of the truck, please."
Let's go.
Okay.
You guys walk one by one.
Jordan, you're muted.
Okay, said Mason as he stepped out of the truck.
There you go.
Yeah, you guys, everyone stepped out. You're in a parking lot next to this one-story, a single-story building with a very Adobe-style architecture. You know, so it looks brown, kind of looks like from that that mud-built construction. Although it's a bit more modern and cleanly put together than some older Adobe structures in this region would be. And the cops begin to escort you towards the front of the building. You can see a little signpost outside that says Santa Fe Police Department. And they push open the doors, walking straight through this entry hall where there's a waiting area, a receptionist desk where there's like a woman clicking away on like a small typewriter. As you walk by, like this woman blanches, kind of goes noticeably play, watching the five of you get escorted off down a side hallway past many doors, until eventually they take you into this lockup to where there's rows of about 20 cells, 10 on each side, and they begin to put the five of you in an individual cell each. They put you inside, have you turn around, remove your handcuffs, close, lock your door, do this with all five of you until all five of you are in cells. Officer, fuck you, Split. I saw you do the drum. I know I said in cells, and I didn't mean it like that.
A silent joke. That was supposed to be for us and us alone.
I'm gonna bring it out. I'm gonna bring my shame to the public light. So it's fine. It's all good. So they finish putting you away, and Officer Ellen says, "Okay, I'm just gonna sit here for a little while. Sheriff Shoemaker will be with you when he gets the chance to, but just don't make too much noise. Dinner's around 5, so just hang tight."
Excuse me.
Yes,
When-
miss.
Are we allowed to make phone calls at all? I would like my lawyer present before I speak to the sheriff in any way.
You let me and Officer Clifford finish writing up some paperwork and I will. Yes, I can get you a phone call.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing, miss.
Can that go for all of us?
I'll consider
have-
it, sir. I'll consider it. How about Split? Give me a charm check, actually. Actually, it's very easy for Sybil to get what she wants just by proxy of existing.
Let's hope for that luck, brother. Boom.
Oh.
Hey, that's 8. That's 8 luck points.
Do you want to spend 8 luck points?
What's my luck at right now?
You feeling lucky, motherfucker?
Yeah, fuck it.
Cool. You spend 8 luck points. The cop says, "Yeah, okay. I can get you a phone call too, sir. Just don't be too loud in here." Cop walks out, leaving everybody. There's no other people in the cells here at this time of day. You're kind of in that hour of a police department where they've already let go all the drunk and disorderly people they held here overnight in the morning. So now it's just kind of you guys here in the afternoon, just alone in this room. Each of you segmented in different cells, but they leave you completely alone in here.
You know, I never thought I'd go to jail.
Me neither. And yet,
First time?
first time.
Yeah, first time, but it's not the
Not that
worst.
bad. It gets worse if they decide to put you away. This is just jail. This is not that bad.
It's not prison.
Well, he's
So, what are you guys in for?
Well, apparently we were at a shootout, and it was and one of my friends got shot, and it was just an entire, so Neil is just he's gone through the stages of grief at this point, and he's settled on anger.
Oh, I love it.
He got the stage he's at right now.
Oh, I
Sybil
love
is
it.
very amused.
Wow, kid.
I hope that I can.
Never
make a
thought
phone
you'd be
call.
the type to be in a shootout.
What are you talking about? He's a battle-hardened criminal, can't you tell?
I was in a shootout and I survived, and I don't even remember it, and I don't even get that luxury of
Not only that,
remembering.
but you didn't get shot.
But I didn't get shot, and you did, and I'm so sorry.
You know what? Sometimes I forget, and then I move my left arm, and then I remember. That's life.
That's life. That's gonna stick with you for a while, by the way.
Yeah, but I suspected that it would. I wonder if I can make a phone call too.
Man, what a way for the Cordova name to come to just stops with a shootout. Wow, I can't even remember it.
Well,
hope I
to
was
be
Well, it
fair,
didn't stop, so.
Look at the headlines. What
and
did they
to
spell
be
your name
fair, lots of people don't remember their first shootout.
on? Probably because
That's true.
they die.
Do I remember my first?
Do you?
They all kind of blend in after a while.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So, while we're just sitting here having heart-to-hearts, I figured I should mention, as this has seemed to be a common theme, I had a dream while I was asleep.
I think your face is getting a little too close to your pillow. You gotta speak up. We're surrounded
What?
by walls.
You're
I
You're a little
had a
muffled.
dream.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I had a dream when I was asleep, and it
Uh-oh.
was, I was at a table, and there was a man. And his name was Lester Goodman, I think? It was,
Okay, is
He
there
called me-
a bed in this?
There is a
Sorry,
bed.
continue.
There is a bed in this room. Yes, Anil.
I'm sorry. Like, imagine that he was laying there with his arms crossed, staring at the ceiling, and then she says Lester Goodman, and he just bolts up immediately, and he's just like, he's just like,
Come again?
So it was like, we were at this dinner table, and he was not a very good dinner guest. Like, he kept doing this thing with his knife and fork, and that is very impolite. And also, he called me honey, and that was the most uncomfortable part. Everything else I can live without. There was like breathing behind me, and that's fine. That was probably a monster, and that would have been very interesting. But he called me honey.
Oh, so you're not one for pet names?
I mean, it depends on the person.
The breathing was probably just when you fell asleep on James's shoulder.
Oh, didn't know that happened.
All right, so honey is off the list. All right.
Oh, I mean, if it's you, like, I can make an exception.
Understood.
The door's open and another cop comes in and says, "Not to break up the party, we're gonna be taking each of you one by one for mug shots. So give your best face for the camera."
I always do.
I like you.
Grabs James first, and so
All right.
James is removed from this room as they take you to a
Just
side
gotta
room.
grab the
Yeah.
most good-looking guy here for the first shot. I know.
They will take your photo. For anyone who wants to have a fun time, look up 1920s mugshots. They're actually like stylistic photos. Like they're almost like album covers. It's actually kind of hilarious. Like they would take one against the wall, but then they would also like
Some
have
of these are
one
kind of tight. What the fuck?
What the fuck? Why are they so cool?
I want you to know. Is there a chair? Is it one of the chair ones?
Yeah, there's a chair.
James is absolutely just like up on the chair, fucking like giving the most
Damn it,
beautiful
I'm
look
thinking
he
High
can.
school senior pictures.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a finger gun and a smile.
Yeah,
Maybe
basically.
It's like his smile's just kind of going to the side a little bit, like.
Yeah, absolutely. So while James is getting pulled away, they do this with everybody. Very simple. They just pull you away. They take they take some photos while they're doing documentation, and then they return you one by one to your cells. It takes about like 30 minutes for them to do everybody.
I have to ask: is Mason sitting backwards in the chair?
No, but Mason on his walk over does unbutton another button from his shirt. just sitting in the chair, one arm hanging on the back. Man spreading as much as he can. Just
You know, in my notes,
love
I
it.
plan to glaze past the mugshot thing, but no, we're gonna go one by one and narrate everybody's mugshots because this is just valuable creative input. So then let's hear Kit's mugshot. It's gonna be the basic one. So,
He's gonna stand there.
Kid probably would have gone in very like back straight, very business-like, sort of looks at the chair, considers sitting down, then looks directly at the camera and just deadpan says, "Make sure you get my good side."
fucking, you say that, flash of light, they snap the picture, deadpan, ass, oh, just like fucking, it's great.
I'm
It's
just like imagining like having to get the other shots, just like yang, yang.
Yeah, absolutely. What's Sybil's?
Sybil, of course, like just does like a full on like first the like beauty shot, poses next to the chair like she's a fucking model, does a little like kick it, like little one leg kick in the air like it's a pin up.
And
She's like,
go ahead.
I hope my lawyer gets a copy of this.
God, we're so fucked. God, we're
Christmas
so
card.
fucked.
You guys are people cope with trauma in strange ways.
Yeah.
And Sunil.
Sunil like shuffles in. It takes him a moment to even get him in there. It's just like, sir, we need you to actually like take the picture. He's just like, he comes in. He's standing for it. He's looking at, you know, like that kid at a recital that like they had come. But they get to like the solo and they can't do it. He's just like, sir, we need you to look up.
Oh, Sunil. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's
my life is over.
I like imagine him crushing his hat in his hands on accident.
Oh my god.
Oh, just
Remove your cap.
My life is over.
a bundle of anxiety.
Take it away from your face. Okay.
Absolutely incredible.
Wear your hat.
During once Sybil is wrapped up there, cops will escort you to make a phone call.
Okay, great.
Same with you, James. So I'll settle Sybil first.
I also wanted to ask if I could make a phone call as well.
I'll say that because James successfully charmed them on that front. They'll be like, fine. It's gonna be a few hours before the sheriff gets here, so just don't take too long. So, anybody else want a phone call? No.
Who the fuck am I gonna call? Call the boss, tell him, oh fuck, I got arrested.
Cool. So Sybil first. They take you to the phone here at the police department.
Okay, great. I'm trying to think if Sybil would like. No, she probably would. She's careful enough to be like, in case something absolutely wild happens. Like the Cordovas have a lawyer, and by the Cordovas I mean Cordova.
The Cordova.
The Cordova has a lawyer. Unfortunately, God, now I gotta come up with a name for my fucking lawyer. I can't believe I didn't think of this.
Would you like me to
whole week.
randomly generate a name for my
Randomly
list of...
generate a name for my lawyer.
Sure.
Randomly generate me a lawyer. Lawyer
Steve.
name generator.
Steve.
Yeah.
Hi, Donatello Sausage Fingers? Yeah, it happened again.
Donatello's. God damn it. I'm thinking of something real quick. I'm trying to think of what that is. Yeah, name generator. A male lawyer?
Were female lawyers very
Probably.
common at the time?
Probably.
male.
I mean, not historically, but it's up to you.
Fuck it, female lawyer.
Female
Give it
lawyer.
to me.
A queen.
A queen.
A queen.
Deborah Barrows, attorney at law.
Deborah Barrows, attorney at law. Great.
Deborah Barrows.
All right,
Attorney
so
at law.
Sybil
That's a
calls her
powerful
up.
God, what the fuck does a lawyer say over the phone? Sorry, I was like, how did I structure a police thing and then fail to think, oh, they might want a phone call. That's fine. Yes, the phone rings and it gets transferred all the way back to, is it Massachusetts?
Actually, let me think. Baltimore. So
Baltimore, Maryland. Yes, guys, routed to
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Old
you-
mansions in Maine, but
You hear, fuck you, Baltimore. You hear the line click over as you get connected, and a voice say, what you tell me. Actually, this is your lawyer. What
She's
kind
a
of wa-
fucking badass.
So cool. The line
Okay.
clicks over.
Honestly.
The line clicks over, and you hear, "What do you want?"
I love her. I love her.
Sybil,
Perfect.
darling, is that you?
It is me.
How the hell are you, dear girl?
I am pretty good. Like, I've had some adventures. I saw some vampires. Had a good time. I was asked if I wanted to be in a play, and it was gonna be this whole thing. But then the guy was too busy and he had to go. He said send me a script though. It's gonna be great. I think I might. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm getting off track, Deborah. I'm sorry. It's a
Deborah
whole
Barrow's
thing, you
attorney-at-law is
understand.
totally smoking a cigarette while not looking at the phone she's talking to.
Right. So anyway, I did all these things, and what I'm trying to say is, so I guess got into a shootout, but I don't remember it, and now I'm in jail in Santa Fe.
Honeys, please, you're gonna have to slow down. There was so much there. Glad to hear that your adventures are going great. What's this about you being in jail?
Yeah. So my friends and I are missing a week's worth of time, and we don't remember anything, but the police say we were in a shootout yesterday.
Unfortunate. What did those pigs say you did?
They said we shot up Santa Fe, I guess.
Well, that's certainly interesting. First for everything. Good on you, Sybil. All right, give me a moment to ponder this one over.
All right, thank you, Deborah.
Okay, I've pondered. Look, I'm gonna need to talk to whoever's in charge at your at their soonest convenience. Do you understand? I think I can get
do.
you out of this. Did you do what they accuse you of, Sybil?
I actually have no idea because I don't remember.
That's a predicament. All right, we will figure this out together. So, first steps moving forward. We're gonna want to talk to the sheriff. Where are you again?
Santa Fe County Jail, I think.
Where is that?
Where is Santa Fe?
New Mexico.
New Mexico. New Mexico.
Oh, good, you're still in the U.S. Okay, I have excellent... For the audience, I'm using a chopstick as a cigarette holder to smoke from right now. Just
Dude,
as a
this is.
prop.
I love her.
I love her so much.
All right, so I'll tell you what there, Sybil. When the sheriff gets in, you tell him to call me. Until then, you don't say a damn thing to a single one of them. You understand?
I understand. Should I say the same to my friends?
I don't know who your friends are, but if they're trustworthy, please go for it. Do whatever you feel is best. Just avoid implicating yourself in anything that might criminalize you in court. Of course, if you fight, well, I will clarify. If you do feel like talking and utilizing your feminine wiles might assist you in the legal process, feel free to make your call. Until
I
then,
will.
okay. Just remember, if it's not recorded, they can't use it in court. So,
You got it. And I don't remember anything, so that might actually be for the best, right? I don't remember it.
I'll have to double check, but if you truly can't remember a single thing, we might be, well, we'll see. It's prohibition. They're pretty not okay with most things. So I'm going to call back. Well, no, you're going to call me. Have the sheriff call me back, and I will get back to you with my legal counsel. Okay,
All
Sybil, hang in there. You're doing all right. Kiss, kiss, moi. See you later. Click.
I love her. I'm so glad I hired her.
Hey,
I was a
Xander.
different lawyer
Yeah?
before, but I met her, and she's so cool.
Yeah, Jordan?
Xander, if you don't have inspiration, take it.
God
Oh,
damn.
fuck me, dude.
And
What
like,
the fuck?
I need art of Deborah Barrow's attorney at law.
I think part of like the majority of this episode.
So I think what happened is Sybil, is the Cordovas had a different lawyer, and then Sybil just encountered Deborah. Someone went, "Will you be my lawyer? I like you. I'm hiring you."
So Deborah Barrows. Oh, what a fucking legend.
What
I
a
love her.
fucking legend.
Beautiful.
Just a fucking
You're
battle axe. Just like really. Oh man. If I don't care about the historical accuracy, I love Deborah Barrow's attorney at law. Okay, cool. So you finished up your phone call. James, what's your phone call?
Right.
Do I need to generate another NPC name for you?
We are going to have to generate another NPC. You know
Okay,
this.
who is this? Tell me who this is. Like, who is this
Alright.
contact?
All right. So I am contacting my highest fucking ranked, police involvement person, like police officer, fucking sergeant, whatever I need to contact in New Mexico to see if I can't get myself.
Oh,
out
so
of this
a New
fucking
Mexico-based contact.
Yep.
Can you actually? I'm gonna ask you two questions. One, what's James's credit rating?
Credit rating. Let me grab that real quick. Fucking. That's the cash and possessions, right?
No, it's under your skills. It's still considered a skill, so it's in C's.
Oh,
Yeah.
20.
20. Okay. I'm gonna say make a flat luck roll, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah. I'll also say, like, if it could be just any high-ranking official.
No, that's
who could
kind of
try to
what I'm
get me out of
determining
this.
through the luck check right now. Yeah.
All right, cool. Ooh, ba-ba-ba.
Okay, cool. Good to know. All right. So I'll say that this is not like real high or influential, but you don't really know a lot of people in New Mexico necessarily. However, you did recently make a contact with the police in Albuquerque. To your best knowledge, you think that you probably got you woke up with more money, so you assume you got the bounty. So you're thinking, I knew a guy in Albuquerque. Maybe I know him, but he's not super high up on the list. So, yeah, that guy is a police detective. His name is Victor DaCosta.
Victor DaCosta. And you
What's
know
that
what?
name?
Just
Holy
because
shit.
of how well you made Deborah, I'm just gonna let you have this one
Cool.
because I don't remember him. So
No. I'm saying that you did know him before your lapse in memory. He was a contact you had made. But he is an Albuquerque-based cop here in New Mexico. He's just not super high up. So you did know him beforehand. But yeah, you ring. You get put into like the Albuquerque Police Department, routed to Detective Victor DaCosta. You hear the answer go, "This is DaCosta."
DaCosta, it's James.
Connell, it's been a few days. You making
Been a
well
few
on that
days.
payment?
Well, apparently I haven't spent a dime, but I have bigger issues right now.
I'm sorry. Chat, Split's using a gun as a phone prop.
Are you
I'm not
fucking kidding
over
me?
this.
What
He's
the shit?
using a gun as a phone in his. This is.
I was wondering when
hello?
you guys would fucking.
Hello? Is this
Hello?
Victor?
Hello?
Is this Victor DaCosta?
Cool.
Hello?
He says, "Yeah, where are you?
Hello?
What can I do? What can I do for you, O'Connor?"
Well, I have unfortunately got myself into a bit of trouble, and I'm gonna need help getting out of it.
All right, I'm listening.
I'll make it worth your while. I'll
Yeah,
split
you
up
will.
some
So
of
I'm
the money you gave
listening.
me.
Yeah, I'm listening. What's up?
I'm in jail for a shootout, Santa Fe.
Okay, shootout with criminals. What happened?
I don't know. No memory. I don't even know why. We were just fucking stopped in the road in Madrid,
Did you go? God damn it, O'Connell! Did you go bootlegging?
last thing I remember is being on the fucking train. I don't
Where
even
on it?
remember turning in anything.
You don't remember turning in the corpse? God.
No.
God damn it. Okay, I don't know what.
I woke up in the hospital this morning with more money in my fucking
Okay,
wallet.
shit.
I
I don't
figured
know.
got
I don't know what's happened to you, what you've been taking, what you've been on. That doesn't matter. Where are you right now?
Santa Fe,
I'll make some
probably
calls.
county jail.
I'll make some calls. I can't promise anything. I'll let you know. Click. Line hangs up. You can't follow up Deborah Barrows, unfortunately.
You really can't, but I like
You
him.
know what? I like him.
He's willing to work for me.
It's got a good name. It's got a good name.
Deborah was a hell of a character.
Yeah. And James, did you want a phone call too?
Say again?
You,
Mason?
James. No, sorry, Mason. God damn it. Mason, you wanted a phone call. I'm so sorry. Mason,
Yeah,
you want
Mason's gonna ring up Aphrodite.
to? Okay, you get routed to New York, to Manhattan.
Yeah.
And the voice rings. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Do you want a description of Aphrodite? Do you want me to like give you one?
No, please. Because I haven't read about Aphrodite in a while. So please, you'll have to
Okay,
refresh my memory about Aphrodite.
Let me give you something. Let me just give you something.
Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Anyway,
Woo.
okay. So I'm going to take a stab in the dark here and say that you call, and there is like Aphrodite does not answer the phone herself every time. She runs the establishment. She's a busy lady. However, there is a kind of like call girl there who answers. And you hear a little voice as you get connected saying, "You have reached Aphrodite's apostles. How might I entreat your pleasures today, sir?"
Hi, doll. It's Mason. Is Aphrodite there?
Mason, it's been a while since I saw you in here. We all miss you very dearly. I'm so sorry to hear that. You're in trouble with the law?
A little bit, but it wasn't for Peru reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aphrodite's here. Let me get it for you.
Thank you.
You can hear like the background conversation. So what can you tell me about Aphrodite before I roleplay her?
Aphrodite is what I.
Oh, you sent me a message. Gotcha.
Yeah, just, but also like a note for the audience.
Yes.
Aphrodite is one of the baddest bitches that you will ever see in your entire life. Both, just like.
So
her
I'm going off
presence.
of every femme fatale in any major noir film ever.
Yes, she is incredibly powerful. She owns Aphrodite's apostles. Like I answer to
Yes.
her.
So you hear the phone exchanging lines, and you hear there's a pause, and you hear that thick, sultry voice coming through the line saying, "Mason, been a while. What can I do for
Daddy,
you,
how
honey?"
been?
I've been all right. We've been missing you something fierce around these parts. You understand? When you coming home to us?
Well, I was hoping that I would have been able to come home to you a couple of days ago.
Her
but
voice
something came up.
Her voice sounds like if cigarette smoke swirling in a dark room with perfume had a sound, that's what Aphrodite sounds like. That's what she sounds like. Yeah.
That is...
So she said. So you can please resume.
But yeah, Mason said, well, I would have been there a couple of days ago, but I think something might have came up. I don't know. I can't remember this entire week. I was on the train. I was coming back, and apparently I was in a shootout.
Mason, what have you gotten yourself into?
Not the craziest thing, but I can name a few. But
listen to me now, honey. Listen, I'll put it very plainly for you. I don't know how to help you if you've gotten yourself in trouble there, sweetheart. Where are you?
I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico, I think.
So
Pretty
far
sure.
away from home. I don't know a lot of fellas out in New Mexico.
Not
How
at
you
all?
gonna make it up
No
to me
officials?
there, sweetheart?
Name your price.
I'll be in touch. Try not to get hanged. You know what I meant. Click. Line closes.
I might be both by the end of this.
Cool. Everyone gets their phone call. Everyone returns to their cells as the documentation is processed. Several hours would pass from then on. Unfortunately, the time ticks away and away and away. Sorry, 1 second. I feel a burp. Okay. However, you think there's not a clock in the lockup. But you do think it's getting somewhere into, like, maybe around 4 or 5 p.m. Somewhere in that ballpark. Been here for a few hours as all these ordeals are going around. And then you hear footsteps coming outside from the nearby hallway. The door to the lockup opens. A couple of cops enter, and at their head is who is notably the sheriff. Well, whereas the other cops are uniformed in their usual like little like buttoned up, little jackets. This cop has just a linen button up shirt tucked into like pants, sleeves rolled up above the elbows, suspenders on, and a Stetson hat on his head. Older gentleman, maybe about like early to mid 40s. Just kind of like.
Is he handsome?
He's got kind of that like southwestern, like rugged old cattle rancher vibe to him. Nothing like he's definitely a little stockier than like say like a good, the bad, and ugly type, but he's got like this kind of like notable authority to him. And he said, and kind of walking goes, "Well, well, well. Look who finally reared their heads back in our little city. Feel good riddling the town with bullet holes since you last were here? Although my deputies tell me you don't remember a damn thing about what happened."
That would be accurate.
Yes.
Let me see if I can trigger your memory by painting you a mental picture.
Please do.
If you really do not remember a single detail. He says this with like the gusto of somebody who doesn't like really believe it, but is just kind of saying it out of cordiality. He says, "Allow me to reintroduce myself. Sheriff John Shoemaker. You shot up my city, and I don't take kindly to that. Raised a lot of hell yesterday, starting in a church, spilled out into the streets. Not a lot of fun. High speeding, shooting, killing, definitely killing. A lot of bodies.
Ooh.
A lot of folks from that church he started shooting in."
Church?
What?
And he just kind of says, he really surveys your faces. And he's put off by that. Wait. You really don't remember a single damn thing, do you?
No.
It's in this moment that you guys get the immediate insight into this guy's character. This is a man who has built his career and his success as a sheriff on honesty and like straight up nobility, and this is a guy who could crack down on a liar in an instant. Like, you get that vibe from him, and like there's like a genuine air that's like putting him off. Kind of like lifts the Stetson off of his head, and a little balding. He's still got some hair, but nothing like too scraggly, nothing very poorly maintained. It's all pretty well together for his age. Runs a hand across his brow, dapples some sweat away with a little cloth, puts his hat back on. You raised holy hell here yesterday. Disappeared like it was nothing. Come back in immediately today after being found in Madrid. And you don't remember a single thing. Why don't you remember anything? What happened to you since yesterday?
That's
I don't
what we
know.
want to know.
I woke up in the hospital. Madrid.
Shit. Okay. I consider myself a fellow of honesty and character, so I'm going to take your word for it, since my deputies seem to believe as well that this is a predicament. And I can tell that you seem to be genuinely confused by what's transpired. Allow me to paint you a picture. A few days ago, you rolled into Santa Fe. Don't know what much of your business was, had a few encounters, tried to get me and my deputies involved in some business about something regarding ne'er-do-wells and ill-minded sorts in a local church nearby here. You and your sixth friend, the Spaniard, tried to convince me for my aid. I didn't have evidence to go off of. I'm a man of practicality and evidence. Next thing I know, yesterday afternoon, there starts being gunshots. Spills out in the streets. Spills out into a car chase. A lot of bodies. Not a lot of answers. And then you disappeared. And if you don't remember anything, then I can imagine you don't remember talking to me about a lot of crazy horse shit.
Sir?
He kind of like walks closer up to the bars as you start to talk, James.
In an absolutely genuine way, no disrespect meaning, no sarcasm in the slightest. I apologize for shooting up your town. I don't remember a thing. Last thing I remember, I was getting off the train to turn in a body for bounty in Albuquerque.
We're gonna make this exceptionally simple. Whether you remember or not is irrelevant to the overall predicament we have found ourselves in. I take your apology, and in truth, good sir, I appreciate it. But
That's all that
understand
is
that
needed.
I'm a man of duty. I'm a man who abides by the law and abides by the words of others that prove to be evidential fact. So god damn it, he leans up to the bars. When I tell you, whether you remember it or not, that you were right, I should have listened to you when you came here before. But the fact that you don't remember what you told me about puts us in a mighty odd position for what's about to happen next. So let me ask you this. Any among you got a stomach for the grotesque?
I do. I was in the war. I can see anything.
I can handle it.
You
Sybil
too?
raises her hand. She just wants to see it. She just.
He looks at Sybil and then looks back at James and Kit with an eyebrow quirked.
Go ahead and let the lady go. She'll be fine.
All right then. As for you two, pointing over at Mason and Sunil, you
Mason
hold
just
tight.
kind of.
Yeah, you
Mason
hold
just kind
tight.
of raises. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. He says, "You hold tight there for a minute. We need to
Okay.
talk with your friends first before we address what I'm going to do with all of you together. Because there's something happening in my town that I cannot explain, and I don't like being able to explain things. Got that?
Understood.
You got it.
I'll speak plain. It is very likely that because of what's transpired, 5 of you are going to be walking free. Because I need your fucking help for what's happening. Let me go get your friends. Show them what I'm talking about. We can discuss this over coffee once I finish talking to them. You should feel lucky that you got locked up when you did. There's a hell of a dust storm rolling in tonight. Would have sucked to have been out in Madrid during that.
Yeah, good to know.
Stay where you are. You 3, come with me.
Right behind you.
And we're going to take a break.
What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on?
We will be right back. So
What
don't
the
go anywhere.
fuck? What the fuck?
Interesting times we live in, everybody. I wonder what has transpired. We will be going for a quick break, so don't go anywhere, and hopefully we can get some interesting answers and insights from Sheriff John Shoemaker of the Santa Fe Police Department. We will be right back.
When You See Millions of the Mouthless Dead by Charles Hamilton Sorley. When you see millions of the mouthless dead across your dreams in pale battalions go, say not soft things as other men have said that you'll remember, for you need not so. Give them not praise, for deaf how should they know it is not curses heaped on each gashed head, nor tears. Their blind eyes see not your tears flow, nor honor. It is easy to be dead. Say only this, they are dead, then add thereto, yet many a better one has died before. Then, scanning all your crowded mass, should you perceive one face that you loved heretofore, it is a spook. None wears the face you knew. Great death has made all his forevermore.
Welcome back, everybody. So, interesting development so far as John Shoemaker, Sheriff of Santa Fe County, lets Kit, James, and Sybil out of their cells and doesn't put handcuffs on them. And the sheriff Shoemaker says, "All right, follow me," and walks out. You can see that as you guys are walking through the hallways. Like one of the officers, Officer Clifford says, "Sheriff, why are you letting the convicts walk?" And the sheriff just like flashes him a look and says, "Go back to your job." And continues walking down the hallway.
Doing a great job, bud.
And the cops just kind of like blanch at you as you walk past. Sheriff's
Sybil giggles.
guiding through the hallways, and Sheriff Shoemaker says, "So you don't remember a thing, so I don't suppose you remember the faces of all the people you shot, and all the people that shot at you?"
No.
Not a goddamn one.
Okay. You got questions I might have answers. What do you want to know?
First thing, you said I was right?
Yeah.
About what?
You
Haven't met you before today.
You have, but I understand that if you truly are missing time, then I understand what you mean. You and your friends, mostly you, came to the Santa Fe Police Department 2-3 days ago. Something like that.
Right.
You had told me that you needed help. Something was wrong, that there was an order, a religious group here in town that's been operating for some time. Catholic sect, so I've thought. You told me that there was something deeper, that they had kidnapped a friend of yours. I am the sheriff of Santa Fe County. I told you to file a report. You told me there was no time, and a bunch of other crazy shit. Pretty level-headed, but I still took you for a nutter, for what it's worth. And you told me that if I didn't do anything, things were going to get a lot worse before they got any better. That's what I meant when I said you were right. Things got a lot worse. So, we brought a body in. We brought a few bodies in from your little excursion.
Right.
There are... I don't quite know how to explain it with any due justice, so I'm just going to show you. He pushes the doors open into the morgue. You can see, like, there are, like, you know, all, like, the little cabinet rows here, a couple of, like, surgical slabs. There is one slab that is occupied already, but there is a sheet, a white sheet draped over it. And you can see that there's a couple of, like, dark red stains kind of still in there. There is a mortuary's assistant working in here. The sheriff says, "Bickle," calls over to him, and the gentleman like looks over and goes, "Ah, sheriff," and holy shit, much like a wiry, this guy looks like an Undertaker, like just a little bit more wiry, a bit like lanky, and he's got like little spectacles on, balding. He goes, "Thou," oh, and the sheriff holds up hands, "Is easy now, Bickle. Hold on there,
James
man.
waves.
Gentlemen, this is Clyde Bickle. He manages our morgue here. Clyde, I assume you are aware with who these three are." And he kind of eyes you like cautiously and says, "Yeah, you could say that. Hello. I guess thank you for keeping me busy today." And he kind of like eyes you three and like eyes the figure on the slab and says, "Are they here to see the..." Sheriff says, Yeah, they are." Clyde says, "Good, because I'm out of my depth." Sheriff kind of like tucks his thumbs into like the loops of his belt and kind of like saddles forth into the room, kind of like pauses at the head of the slab and looks down and goes, "That was brought in yesterday evening. Full flesh and blood, pillar of the community, gentleman. Never met him myself. Quiet sort. Wasn't the head of that little church you shot up, but definitely an influential member."
What's his name?
That's the thing. I have memories of him being in this community, but I don't remember a single thing about him. But that's not the most concerning thing about this man. At least I assume he's a man. I brought this man in yesterday. Bullet wound in his chest. Dead as a doornail. You tell me, which among you knows how decomposition works?
I do. I mean, yes.
Great. You look under that sheet and you tell me that what you see is a natural process of decomposition for a body that's been in a morgue for 24 hours.
24 hours, and yeah, sure. And Kit will fairly confidently move forward and sort of like glances over the body towards where he left James and Sybil.
It's very lumpy. And
Huh.
make a spot hidden check.
Sure,
James-
give me a moment.
James is gonna go like right up with Kit. He wants to see exactly what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, Sybil's like leaning in.
You know, I'll leave it since this was just a cursory examination.
It just from the sheet, it's very lumpy. You notice for sure. It's in the shape of a person.
As James approaches, Kit sort of like shoots him a side look and like tilts his head as in a, you ready? All right. And Kit like sort of raises the sheet slowly so that James and him can see underneath.
Yeah, totally. As you pull the sheet up and back, to say this is a corpse would be an incorrect first assessment, because the first thing you see is not a corpse, because there's very little actual flesh showing here. More of the loose approximate shape of what may have once been a living human being, with some visible bones and putrid black fully decayed flesh, but those parts are minuscule compared to the piles of maggots, worms, and centipedes that have covered this thing like an exoskeleton. I need the three of you to make sanity checks.
Like live bugs?
Like, are they writhing?
They are very faintly writhing.
Sybil with a successful sanity check. Who'd have thunk it?
Let me fucking see.
Wow.
Oops.
Cool. James, you will take. Let me roll some dice. You take, once it shows up, 1 point of sanity damage from seeing this thing.
Fuck yeah.
You can kind of feel like
Nice.
a little spot of bile rise up in the back of your throat, but you push it back down.
It's a weird fucking thing to see. What the fuck? You know what? Fucking James kind of like hovers his hands over the corpse, looks at Kit, looks at the sheriff, goes, basically like, may I?
The sheriff
You
just
got any gloves?
glances over his shoulder at the guy who works here at the morgue, Clyde Bickle. He quickly scrambles and grabs some like sanitary gloves, hands them over to you.
This fucking poke at the thing. It's got tons of bugs on it. Are they coming off? Like, what the fuck?
It squishes as you kind of like push into it. The bugs, these bugs are definitely alive, or at least the vast majority of them are. And a couple of them have like fallen off in clumps and like loosely crawl and slither around on the metal slab. And you can like peel some away from the body a little bit, but they're all like moving very slowly, not really super reacting to your touch, but they're alive. They're live bugs. You can see that the head of this thing, between blackened, putrefied flesh, exposed bits of skull, hollow eye sockets where centipedes and maggots like swarm and curl around in the hollow cavities. A long centipede crawls out through like the hollow nostrils of the skull, then back in through the exposed teeth of the figure down into its putrid gullet.
So just to really get a good like understanding image in my head about this, is this motherfucker like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before
It's
Christmas?
got a similar vibe, honestly.
Okay, so it's just like there's like rotted out flesh kind of outlining the person shaped clump of bugs.
Not necessarily outlining. It's more like
I mean, like when I
the
say
bugs
outlining,
themselves
I mean, like, on the
are
plate.
yeah. The bugs themselves, the insects themselves, are the filling out outline for the small bits of flesh and bone and corpse that poke out from underneath these thick layers of bugs and crawlers.
Do the bugs that fall off go back on?
They kind of just like hang there. I mean, you kind of like watch for a minute. Like some of them just stay in place. Others like just with nothing else to do, just like crawl back onto the swarm. But like there are some bugs that like crawl off and like fall off in small clumps, dissipate. But none of them like fall off the like the table. They're not like making a rush to get away. They're just kind of like it's like they're all feasting on one meal.
James, don't let them touch you, but if you wouldn't mind moving some of them away from where that bone and flesh is, I need to take a closer look, and you have gloves on already.
Right. He's gonna honestly just kind of like lightly scoop push like the bunch of it away.
You just huge clump. The bug just like peel away and like with like a mucusy like slime just peels off, and like a little bit of like the blackened putrid flesh curls up with it with the scoop, revealing just a large segment of rotted away exposed rib cage, black ichorous fluid flowing underneath. Not flowing, just like oozing, I should say.
So what Kit is trying to ascertain is, bugs aside, we're ignoring the bugs for now.
Completely.
Yes, they are concerning, but we'll deal with that later. That is a different suitcase to unpack. Bugs aside, how advanced is the state of decomposition when it comes to the bones and the flesh? Like, ignoring the fact that they said it was 24 hours ago, how long would a normal body have to decompose before it came to this state?
What is your intelligence score?
80.
Can you give me an intelligence check? I'll call this an idea roll for figuring that out, because it does not technically fall within the purview of the medicine skill. Cool.
I've seen a lot of rotting corpses, though.
You have for sure. You have. This corpse has to. This is advanced. This corpse has to be like several decades old. Like this is a rotten corpse that's been dead this is what you would see if you dug up a grave and broke open the coffin for someone who died a long time ago. Like putrid, dry remains of flesh feasted on by worms. Like no way was the thing on this table alive yesterday.
Kit sort of nods and looks to James, and thank you, James. Sheriff, Mr. Bickle, this corpse, writhing anomalies aside, this is the type of thing you get when you disinter someone who's been sitting in the ground for decades.
Yeah, Clyde Bickle says, correct. That was my assessment too. And the sheriff says, to which I said that's impossible, and yet here we are.
Are there
And
more
yet,
like this? Or just
There's
this one?
Just this one. The other ones are like other ones from the shootout. Just kind of like gestures vaguely at the cabinets behind him. He says, ones that didn't fit, we had to make do with other places to put them. But none of them did this.
Sorry, Kit, go on.
Is this the only person who was a member of that church?
All of them were members of that church.
Can we see another body?
Sure. Clyde pulls up another cabinet, showing a relatively healthy 30-year-old, I was about to say human man, but everyone's a human. Relatively healthy man, who's got a bullet wound kind of square in his forehead. And, that looks more reasonable for a body that was shot yesterday.
Okay.
This one. Do you know this one's name and things about him?
I don't remember a single thing about it, and that's what's troubling me. Aside from, as you put it, mister, gesturing at Kit, the crawling anomalies. Which, pardon me if I chuckle a little. I just find this interesting, considering that you're the one who shot him, looking at Kit.
Which one?
Pointing
Kit sort
at
of like
the worm corpse.
Oh.
Good.
Huh. Well, in that case, Kit's going to first ask for the gloves from James so that he can put them on. And second is going to sort of check for a bullet where he would have most likely shot this person. Like, he's a trained marksman, so there are a
He's
few
got dead in the
places.
chest.
Yeah.
I'll say... Ooh. Give me a spot hidden check, I'll say.
Okay.
Sheriff, do you remember anything about any of the
Ooh.
people that came up dead?
Do I remember anything about the people who came up dead? They're corpses now, but nothing else has happened. Kit, do you want to push that roll somehow?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to go in with sort of both hands and sort of leverage it apart.
Yeah, totally. Go for it. Yeah, there it is.
Nice.
You sink both hands into just the gooey, decomposed, writhing insectoid mass, and you kind of feel around there, and your fingers clench around something small and hard that feels distinctly different from everything else that you're feeling in here. You pull it out. There is, in fact, a familiar-looking bullet that you pull out in your now gooey hands.
It's just a normal 30-06.
Normal 30-06.
Yeah, I don't know anyone else who uses this caliber, so I mean, I believed you, but it's different when Kit sort of delicately puts the bullet with a little clink on the metal table.
Clinks and echoes. You can actually begin to hear just kind of through the hallways from the outside, just the very faint picking up of wind outside. Just dust storm. Big one too. We had a storm a few days back down south, closer to the border. It's picking up a lot in the air. But we're inside. Things are relatively well sealed in here. Things shouldn't get too gritty. Just drink a lot of water. You're a doctor, right? I believe you mentioned that to me last we spoke.
Yes, Sheriff.
Yeah, all right, Doc. What's your diagnosis here?
Kit pauses and gives him a look and sort of blinks. His first instinct was honestly to laugh at the frankness of the question. Well, Sheriff, my diagnosis is that first off was killed by a shot to the chest with a high caliber round, 30-06, but prior to that was somehow already dead for quite a time. It's the only... I can't think of any other explanation for this. This is... Nothing rots like this, especially not out in the desert. Things desiccate out here. They don't disintegrate.
We put a sheet on him last night. This morning, it was like this.
Bugs and all.
Bugs and all.
You don't happen to have a bug problem, do you?
We do not.
Are these... Might be an odd question, but please humor me. Are these bugs you'd normally see around here?
I mean, you got the worms and the maggots that undoubtedly crawl beneath the ground and feast on putrid flesh here and there.
Kid sort of nods. He wasn't really expecting.
The centipedes are... I mean, I've seen centipedes. Not a lot, but I've seen them. So
All right.
Kristen,
I
you were
ask-
gonna say something?
Does this seem similar to what Kit and Sybil saw in Peru?
it does not.
Okay.
Distinctly different.
Okay.
Is the second body, the one that's still like together, is that one cut open?
Did you ask that in character or out of character?
I asked that in character. From,
In character.
Well, I mean, out of character. From
Okay,
like,
gotcha. Out of
observation.
character. Observation? No, it doesn't look like an autopsy has been done on it yet.
All right.
You get the
Sheriff,
idea that Clyde's had a backlog of bodies to work through.
Sheriff.
Yeah.
Now, I've never really worked at a morgue before, but I know that autopsies happen. Y'all cut these things open.
That's correct. We've been working through them steadily.
Found any more bugs?
Not a single one. Few weird looking tattoos and self lacerations we determined. What do they call it? Scarification? Yeah.
Yeah.
These were all members of that religious group here in Santa Fe. You know, like I said, they've been here for a few years, operated as, to my knowledge, a unique divergent sect of Catholicism. They called themselves the Disciples of the Xanthus Diadem.
Does that sound like a familiar sect? Kit was raised Catholic.
Not in the fucking
Dang.
slightest. Not in the slightest. You've never heard that before. Yeah, Disciples of the Xanthus Diadem.
Not.
The church they were working out of, the one you shot up, Our Lady of Unspeakable Sorrow. It's about 30 minutes from here. It's we got to look around the place, and that's when we started to think that you might have been right before we saw this body, because there's definitely some weird. If it's Catholic iconography, it's not iconography I've seen in any Bible or church I've been to before. I'll put it like that.
Did you collect it, or is it still in
Still on the
church?
site,
I would-
but still on the site, and we can maybe go there after the dust storm settles. However, he kind of like walks over to another cabinet and like pulls open and has another corpse. This one's like a younger woman, maybe like late teens. She is got a bullet wound through her left eye that like it clearly took out her brains. And I'm gonna say that the worm corpse was the worst one for you in this room, Sybil. So while you're not desensitized to seeing a corpse, I'm not gonna ask for additional sanity rolls because the worm corpse is the worst thing in the room. You kind of can steal your stomach for anything else.
She's seen some shit at this
You have.
point.
You just don't.
After Peru,
Yeah.
she's seen bodies at this point.
For sure. He kind of like
Sucks.
peels back the blanket on her. It has Clyde walk over, and they kind of like slowly flips her over onto her back. And on like between her shoulder blades, there is this like scarred carving. A kind of weird spiral symbol that like 3 spiraling tendrils that radiate out from a single point.
Can I
Mostly
understand
akin to that.
Does it seem familiar to me at all based on the various?
You don't have points in Cthulhu Mythos, so unfortunately you'd be unable to make a roll in this.
Rip.
Goes, yeah, well.
The other tattoos, variations on the same.
Variations, similar iconography. They had an affinity for hanging up animal hides and antlers in some of their more religious shrines. So again, things started to look weird. Things got a little weirder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they cover her up and they tuck her back away.
The young woman. Did it seem like a high caliber bullet wound?
Seemed like a high caliber bullet wound.
Right. Kit's eyes sort of like slide off her as they put her away and just glance at the floor and then off into the distance.
Based on what you attempted to tell me a few days ago, I've made the assumption, the jump in logic, that all of these, kind of like pointing at the cabinets and the actual corpses, were killed in self-defense. Based on what you informed me of.
Okay.
Hell. Alright, well, how about I get you you three in some coffee and we can fetch your other 2 friends from lockup. We can sit down and talk about what we're thinking we should do next. Clyde, would you mind finishing up here? And Clyde says, yeah, right, of course, Sheriff. I'll pleasant to meet you. Thank you for the overtime. And Sheriff will escort you 3 out of the room, take you to like a meeting room, and he'll just yeah.
This was a silver lining for someone.
At least. Shit. All right. Well, I'll go get your 2 friends from lockup. I'll have officers Gomez and Duncan, your arresting friends, bring you some coffee. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. He walks off. Back in the lockups. Sunil and Mason, you 2 have been alone this entire time. Have Mason and Sunil talked at all while everyone was away?
Did we talk?
It's up to you.
I've been thinking about this whole time, and I imagine they've spoken, but then I got kind of lost in the whole there was a carving in the back of this woman's back thing, and now I don't remember what I imagined them talking about.
Xander, what
Yes.
did you just say the arresting officer's names were again?
He referred to them by their last names. You guys have only been hearing their first names. Officers, now that you've heard their first and last name, it would be Officer Alan Duncan and Officer Clifford Gomez. So,
Okay, I was about to say, it's like, come again, motherfucker?
you know,
Like,
the sheriff
names?
the sheriff referred to them by their last names when he just said that now, is what I was doing.
Okay.
Putting you on
Just
edge.
making sure. I wouldn't be able to say anything either because I wasn't there, but I was like, huh?
I was describing that corpse and I watched Kristen's eyebrow cork when I said something, and I was just like, oh, Kristen knows what's up. Good. All right, we'll move on.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. The only thing that Mason would really do at this point is just kind of crack jokes and try and make light of the situation. That's just
Yeah.
kind of his thing.
You know, through the walls of the lockup, you can hear just the heavy wind just as it seems this dust storm is picking up outside.
The sheriff mentioned there was going to be a dust storm. Are we going to be stuck in here for the night?
Probably. Well, there's nowhere else to go, so...
You ever been in a dust storm before?
Can't say that I have.
Yeah, me neither. Well, I hope they're not as bad as people say.
The door opens. Sheriff Shoemaker walks in. Kind of like walks up, ring of keys, begins to unlock your cells. Pardon the noise, dust storms going on at the moment. Hopefully it's not too distracting. Worst, at most, it'll be going for the next 2-3 hours. Just try to funnel it out. You can focus better that way. He unlocks your cell. Mason unlocks Sunil's cell. And good news, not arresting you yet. So got your 3 friends, some coffee in the meeting room. How about you come join us?
Sure, why not?
Cool. You 2 join the main room. Coffee, there are mugs of coffee that everyone has received from a freshly, fresh kettle. After everyone's kind of like settled down, sheriff's kind of like pacing the room and says, to the best of my knowledge, allow me to paint the events that have transpired from my perspective as I know them, since it seems you don't remember yourselves. 2-3 days ago, I'll admit things have been a little hectic. Points at James, and then Sybil and Kit. You 3 came into this department and informed me that something was afoot. That you had a friend who had evidently been kidnapped or whatever, and you had been in town looking into such affairs when you had uncovered, and I'm speaking in terminology that you said to me when you first met me, you had uncovered some sort of religious cult that was operating in town. You didn't have any evidence, but I worked off what I knew. So I didn't have anything to go off of, so I told you to file a report. Yesterday afternoon, around 12:30, shots start ringing out from Our Lady of Unspeakable Sorrow, a church, home to a local Catholic sect known as the Disciples of the Xanthus Diadem. And those shots spill out onto the street. And those shots continue to drive through downtown Santa Fe at high speeds, firing off. You, at the front of it, pointing at all of you, pursued by what I can now assume to be members of the congregation. You raise holy hell. When things quieted down, my deputies and I arrived on the scene. You, by then, peeled out completely. Last I saw you, speeding south out of town. So this morning, I sent officers Gomez and Duncan, whom you met, to head to Madrid, the nearest place south ever since Cerrillos became a ghost town, and ask if anyone's seen you. Also sent some folks down to Albuquerque, longer drive, but canvassing. So we found you that way. I'm sure there's more details I'm forgetting at the moment. But if you have questions, I'll do my best to answer them, because I know I have a hell of a lot of questions that if you don't remember, I now can't get answers to. So we need to decide what it is we're going to do next.
We gotta go to the church.
We can.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to escort you there. It's about 30 minutes around here. It's closer towards downtown than we are. It is empty to my knowledge, but next few hours, once the dust storm subsides, we can make our way up there. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Cool.
So far, it seems like things haven't exactly been triggering our memory when we're coming into certain situations. Like, just hearing about this in general hasn't even piqued
No.
anything.
Yeah, no, not even at all. Sheriff nods and says, all right, well, yeah, we can arrange that. I'll go with you. Kind of like looks at, like, pulls out a pocket watch, looks at it and goes, hell, it's late. Sorry about that. I've been wrapped up dealing with the fallout of your little display.
Understandable.
But like I said, I think it was self-defense, so there is that.
It seems to be the case.
What about the sixth one of you? The one who's not here? The Spaniard.
Spaniard?
Yeah.
Don't know.
He was a fella that we met on the train. Don't really know why he'd be with us.
Talked about him like he was your
gave-
friend or at least an associate.
I gave one of the cops. I don't know which one. I gave them his card.
Clifford.
And
I'll
has his
confer.
information on it.
Clifford Gomez. I'll confer with him. Yeah, I'll see if I can get that.
So you mentioned that 2 days ago that's when we came in, right? Did you see us at all before then?
2-3 days. I'm the sheriff for Santa Fe County. I spent a lot of my day traveling around said county, and it sounded like you had been in town he kind of like pauses and says, for a little bit before then. I think I remember you mentioned, after I told you that I couldn't help you file a report, I asked you where I could contact you for a follow-up if it ever came up. And you just said to ring the De Vargas Hotel. That's a hotel right in the middle of downtown, right across from the Central Plaza. You asked one of my officers if there's a Sunflower Bank in town, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask. I was gonna
That's across. That's across from the De Vargas.
Yeah. When I woke up in the hospital this morning, checked my wallet, it was written down. I have a deposit box number and a key.
Sunflower Bank?
Sunflower Bank.
Might
Alright.
be relevant.
You think it might be relevant to this case? Well, all right then.
Could be.
I'll add the Sunflower Bank to the list of places to go. Although it is 5:30-ish going on now, we'll need to go tomorrow morning, but we can still make it to the church tonight, need be. Anything else at all?
The only other thing I can think of is to go by the Devagas and look through whatever might have been left behind there.
All right. Well, we can settle that for probably tonight as well. It's a hotel. It's a finer one in town. Pretty historic. I can get any of you able to drive?
I can.
Okay. I can take half of you in my car, and I'm sure I can get another officer to loan out one car just for the purpose of getting you transported, if not finding another one.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Well, we got plenty of coffee. We don't got much in the way of food that isn't brought by the individual here. But I'm going to need some written statements over the next couple hours while we wait out this storm. I'd say just get comfortable for the time being. If there's anything you need, by all means, feel free to inquire with me or any of my deputies. I was gonna say I apologize, but then again, you don't really remember anything. On the principle of it, if nothing else, I apologize that this event has transpired and that I was not able to mete out justice as I was elected to do so in an adequate time frame. I'm still very perplexed as to what happened, but things are a bit clearer from my end that you were just trying to find evidence and you got in a hairy place and had to defend yourself to get out of it.
Seems to be the unfortunate case.
Yeah.
We had mentioned that a friend of ours had gotten kidnapped.
Yeah.
Did we give you a name? Jackson Elias?
Jackson. Yeah, that's it. Jackson Elias. And you said
That's
that
where
he
is.
you said that he got kidnapped and that he was forgive me if I'm spacing out on the details. I disregarded a lot of what you said because I was dealing with a lot of other business at the time, but if I recall correctly, you had mentioned that you drove up from Albuquerque because that's where your friend was taken from, and you were pursuing his captives. But you didn't have any evidence that it was tied to the disciples.
And Sal was with us.
But we think it was tied to the disciples. We
Yeah.
thought. At least
You
at the
thought.
time.
I'd be willing to suggest now that it was probably them, given what we've been seeing in the last 24 hours.
Alright.
So this officer, is he currently lying to us right now?
Make a psychology check.
Like I guess for specifics, is he leading us on?
Good question. Make a psychology check.
Okay.
Yo, very nice. You get nothing but an honest, upfront air from this man of someone who's trying to do his job and piece together a really confusing, concerning situation.
Okay. I just Waterdeep made me a very paranoid man, so I always have to ask. Fuck. I always gotta ask.
Sheriff,
Yeah.
is there anyone in town who would know anything about this church? Any information at all?
Well, you shot most of them.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, there's a few people who've, dealt with them before. I mean, again, I assumed, and by all outward appearances, they just seemed like a eccentric Catholic sect. Now, when I was personally familiar with, I'm Lutheran, but I don't know. So that kind of
Isn't Xanthus Greek?
it is.
Is?
I have
Zan-
no idea.
Forgive
Was
me,
that
I'm not
in or out of character?
I believe there were. I think he was more of like a god or something.
Xanthus.
Um,
I'm not familiar. Forgive me. I'm not a foremost scholar on Grecian related information. It wasn't part of my essential training as sheriff.
uh, I'm trying to think of like how to word this, Xander, to like probe at what Xanthus is.
You could certainly talk about it out loud. I mean, that's like in other ways. I mean, this would I mean, like, check wise, do you speak Greek or Latin?
No, I don't speak Greek or Latin, but like Mason is he's fairly educated.
Yeah.
Despite like his work.
Okay.
Would he have gotten something about like some Greek shit?
I mean,
in his classes at some point?
possibly. I'd say.
Would it be
I'll
safe to say that the Catholics know a little
It
Latin?
is a Grecian word. He is correct about that. It is a Grecian word. So, I mean, I will say, here's what I'll say. For the specific questioning you're giving me, Jordan, roll your education score.
Okay.
On a success. Okay, it's a hard success. Okay, cool. Regular success would have confirmed a small detail. Hard success, I'll give you more details. Yes, that's correct. Xanthus is a Grecian term. It does not have anything to do with a god. Xanthus, and so is the word diadem as well. I mean, diadem is also a Greek word.
Okay.
Whereas Xanthus refers to something that is marked by yellow coloration, and the word diadem is Greek for crown.
Yellow crown. Yellow crown. The king in yellow. Said the player, and not Mason.
He's doing this shit. I'm gonna kill you.
I have to make sure that I'm careful with that shit, because sometimes if I say something and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you got it," and then next thing you know, we're all dead. Yeah. So Mason thinks long and hard about it. Yellow crown.
Was that
crown yellow?
Mason?
That's
Disciples
Sorry.
of the Yellow Crown. I mean, I would assume that is why they would use a Grecian term. It doesn't sound nearly as
it doesn't
sanctimonious.
No, it sounds like they were worshiping something. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's.
I mean, I guess the Lord can be seen as a king, but I don't know why yellow.
I don't know, maybe
Golden
radiant,
sun?
perhaps something sun. Mason, you would know that as him and the sheriff are like saying like radiant, like maybe. The term Xanthus does not necessarily apply to. It's not frequently used in the context of, like something just being yellow by coloration of like, oh, being like the sun. It's Xanthus is more of like yellow color in a less healthy way, one might say. It just
Would you say like sickly, like
a yellow brown kind of way? Yeah,
Like jaundiced?
like jaundiced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Xanthus.
No, there's nothing divine about Xanthus.
What does it mean?
They could be worshiping. Honestly, they could be worshiping anything. You know, it's something yellow, king in yellow something. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, whatever it is.
A
it's
bolt of
definitely
lightning
not.
comes down and strikes Mason.
They
Well,
could be.
It's definitely not Catholic. Can say that much.
Yeah.
No, I'm starting to think that Catholicism was just a disguise.
Mason. Yeah.
Well, that's certainly interesting, I'll say, at the very least.
I just want to know more, but I guess I don't know if we can really get much without actually going into that church.
Yeah, I mean, storm's been going now for a little under, I should say, 2 hours, so we should be in the clear, just as long as you sit tight. This is confounding.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's wait for this thing to settle, and then we'll move on, shall we? Yeah, Miss
Sure.
Cordova.
So, do you know anyone by name who went to that church?
The only people I knew by name who went to that church, Miss Cordova, are the people who are in the morgue. Everyone else, all of the other members of the congregation, got away.
Here, okay, hold on. Has anyone complained about the church?
Complained? I'd have to check the records room, but I don't recall any complaints being levied against the church. That neighborhood has gotten some complaints of missing animals before, but like very infrequently. A couple of folks' domestic pets have gone missing, but also, I mean,
You said they like to hang high.
What was that?
You said they like to hang hide.
Yeah, they do like to hang hide.
Alright.
Yeah. Now I'm getting a mental picture and I'm not liking it. Well, all the same, let's wait the storm out, and we'll go get some things done. Yeah, the rest of the storm, like the dust storm, passes by over the next 45 minutes until like everything at the end. Kind of like sheriff comes back and says, "All right, we're in the clear. We can head to the church if you'd like. Did you want to hit up the DeVargas first, or shall I take you to the church right away?"
The DeVargas, if possible.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Sure thing,
What
absolutely.
was the DeVargas?
It's the
Our
hotel,
hotel.
that you apparently
Yes.
were told that
Yes.
that you could be contacted. Yeah, absolutely. Let me change the creepy music for a minute.
Hey, and while we're making our way over, when Mason mentioned anything that had to do with like yellow and crowns and shit, did that pique his mind at all?
Nope.
Nothing
piqued your mind.
Run a mythos check?
You may not. Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I spoke plainly. I assumed you were me asking. Can I roll something to have my mind get? No, I was like, okay. You have a 5% mythos check. Sure. Go ahead and
do.
roll a Cthulhu mythos check, Jordan, please.
Okay. I
Sure.
so
sure.
I know my rolls have been
Yeah,
bad, but like
yeah.
that's a 5% chance that I
5%,
might get
bro.
something.
5%
Bro,
chance.
this is the one.
Absolutely. This
The one.
it is a chance something might happen. Statistically against you, but it's possible, and that's what matters.
No, it's just
I
fingers crossed that
believe
there's
in
no
you.
100. That's not too far
Not
away.
too bad. Of
Not
all the
too
numbers you
bad.
could have rolled, you still fail. However, it's not that bad.
Not that bad.
So
It's
anyway,
a failure.
no, nothing
But-
nothing pings your mind, unfortunately.
Okay. No, don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Is Sybil staying quiet about all of this?
Sorry, I was pinned to the chat.
Because
thing.
your humble keeper is forgetting if you were told the name of the play that you were being
Oh
given.
no, she was like, I wasn't sure if like we'd said the king in yellow in character, so
Oh,
I'm
they-
like,
Like
I was
yeah.
confused. Sorry.
I
was
think
focused
no, you're
on
good.
the-
I think Jordan here was being a little handball by having Mason being like Yellow King, the
Yeah, I wasn't
King
sure if he was just
Yellow,
making around.
the King in
'Cause
Yellow. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's because James mentioned.
Yeah, yeah,
King.
yeah.
I wasn't gonna say King
So wait,
at all.
yeah.
and
So
then-
what was that? I was sorry.
The name of the play was not provided. Sorry.
Gotcha.
yeah, I don't think he actually said the name
Cool.
of the play. God damn
But
it.
but he handed her a script. Well, he was
did.
starting to hand her
He
a
was
script.
reaching into his bag, but then he
About to.
got interrupted. Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh,
Never
okay. I thought
actually-
he handed her
Yeah,
like
damn
the
it.
paper.
Damn. Anyway,
Mm.
cool.
People
would've been
making
like-
hands for the king in yellow script never actually gets the king in yellow script.
I didn't think the King in Yellow would rear his head back to
You
become
think
a little more
I
relevant
would
after
do a Call of Cthulhu stream on IR and not bring up the King in Yellow?
For $5.99? Absolutely.
I already
They're
watched.
remix
I already
of all things.
no. I already watched that flyby in the chat. Like I already watched everyone do that bit.
Why did they do the $5.99 bit in the chat?
They did.
Mason, why'd you get shot? For $5.99.
For $5.99?
So
The pawn shop?
you guys hop in. Okay, so you guys hop in a pair of cars. And Sheriff Shoemaker leads the way down the darkening streets. It's like going on 8 p.m. So yeah, it's dark now. It's April. Driving down the roads towards the actual downtown Santa Fe, but pulls off into a side road after a while and like runs up a dirt trail until you come across this kind of like Old West style chapel. It's definitely been like renovated and it's newer. This is definitely like an old building that's been here for a while and seen repairs over the years. But you would be looking at this and you're like, oh, this was built by like ranchers back in like the early 1800s probably.
Is that a chapel?
Does it look like one of those Spanish missions?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it does look a little bit like a Spanish mission.
When I see it, does it pique my memory at all?
Nothing.
Okay.
Let us know when something piques our memory.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's like you don't know. Like if you just pass by like a passing glance, you're like, I don't know. But like just in case.
Oh, don't worry. I will
I
tell
will
you.
ask.
I will tell you when something piques your memory. But yeah, pulls up, gets out of the car. Sheriff walks up and says, "All right, this is the place."
I thought we were going to the hotel first.
Oh fuck, you're right. Brrr, rewind. That's the future. That's the future. That's the future.
That's why I was sitting here like you said a chapel.
My fucking bad. Jesus Christ. We got sidetracked there. And I was like,
Up to the chapel, the Sheriff's like, we're not going here yet.
Listen,
Just try.
I've been to a hotel that looked like a chapel before. It's kind of a thing out here.
We gotta
so...
make
That's what I was starting to
we
think.
just gotta make a quick stop. No.
Yeah, I noticed because like when we
That's
started
a-
going like off road, I was
No,
like,
that's how you guys get killed. No, I apologize. No, yeah, no, nothing
I'll be
sinister.
damned before I let you take me to a secondary location.
So no, he takes you downtown and pulls through the very brown downtown Santa Fe district. Santa Fe, for those of you who don't know or have never been or just weren't aware of this, it's kind of required that all buildings have an Adobe style to them. It's called the Santa Fe style. There's a law put about it. So everything looks like an Adobe mud building to varying levels of design. But one building is a little bit nicer than the rest around here. Clearly some kind of like multi-story hotel. It's about like 3 floors. It's a bit more stately looking. There's a little marquee outside that says the DeVargas Hotel. I can't think because Split and Jordan are like wiggling on camera to the music and it's throwing me off.
We do this every episode.
I know you
Why
do.
vibing?
I just tab out sometimes.
This jazz is just a bop.
Anyway,
Jazz just got me fucked up.
Sheriff Shoemaker says, "I'll wait in the car. I'll just don't suppose you folks will take long, so I'll just keep the engine hot."
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep.
And if somebody recognizes us once we step inside,
Yeah, you guys walk into the lobby of the DeVargas Hotel. There's like, it's a little quieter, but there's a couple people like milling about, like enjoying a smoke, like some light conversation. There's a little concierge. I got it. Concierge. I got it. I was saying conch, and that really threw me off. Concierge desks where there's a woman behind it. A Native American looking woman. Her hair is tied back, wearing a nice dress. And she says, looks up and says, "Good evening. Welcome to the. Oh, well, welcome back to the DeVargas Hotel." It kind of like smiles, like half confused, but like cordial, and says, "Did you leave something behind on your last day?"
do I get the feeling that like she knows what we did?
Ooh, make a psychology check on her.
I kind of also want to do.
Hard
No
success.
need, my friend. No need.
You feel like she's aware of both events, but hasn't connected the dots that was necessarily you. So she doesn't seem to be like suspicious of like you in particular, but she definitely like recognizes you as like all of you.
Okay.
You know, I think we might have left a few things. Actually, we think we might have left a few things behind. Actually,
Okay.
did we
You mind-
return our keys? I'm sorry, I'm a little forgetful.
No, your friend, the charming Spanish gentleman, checked out and returned the keys on your behalf.
I
That
ask
was this morning.
This morning.
That is correct, yes.
Are the rooms still vacant? Can we take a look inside?
The rooms are still vacant to my knowledge, but they would have been cleared out by now. However, I can certainly check with our cleaning staff to see if they found anything in your room. They would put it in our lost and found. I'd be happy to ask if you'd like.
Yes,
Yes, please.
please.
Sure thing. She kind of dips behind the counter, goes into a back room for a couple minutes.
Yeah, Mason turns to the others. I'm sorry, he checked us out this fucking morning? We were in Madrid this fucking morning. What would
Madrid.
we... Madrid. Excuse me. Sorry, smooth brain. We were in Madrid. Madrid! Fuck! We
No,
in
you
Madrid
said it
this
right.
morning. we were...
Mason, could you-
Jordan, we didn't quite get that take. Can you do it again, please?
Madrid.
Pick up? Alright, cool. Move on.
Why did he check us out when we were in fucking Madrid this morning?
I wonder if he was the one that dropped us off in the middle of nowhere and then drove off.
Probably fucking robbed us. Probably took all our shit.
It's
Oh, I guess-
anyone's guess at this point.
When she
That's
comes
not-
back, we'll ask if he mentioned where he was going.
Yeah, and the concierge comes back out a moment later. She says, well, I have wonderful news. I talked with our cleaning staff. You left behind a lot of luggage in your rooms.
My fucking money! My fucking money! May we please go and get it? My name is Mason Allen. There should be a little taggy tag on the bag.
Yes, sir. I would be more than happy to procure that for you.
Thank you. You are a doll. Thank you very
Thank
much.
Oh,
you.
uh,
I'm sorry, Miss.
My name is Joanna Daisy.
Thank you, Miss Joanna Daisy.
She nods.
Uh,
Comes back
Miss Daisy.
with literally all of your missing luggage.
My fucking money! I was like, man, I'm gonna have to go back to Aphrodite after I called in a fucking favor. We all know what happens when we call in a favor from Aphrodite. It's hell. I thought I could just run away, but now all my money's gone, and I'm in Madrid, and I'm fucking broken. I'm shot.
So Split, James wanted to say something there to the concierge.
Sorry.
Yeah. That Spanish friend of ours.
Yes, very charming gentleman. Yes.
Yeah, I bet. Did he mention where he was going?
He did not say. I was on shift. I work a long day. He came in early this morning, had your keys, checked out for you, handed those back in, and he thanked me for the lovely service, gave me a tip, also asked me to give a tip to the cleaning staff, which I did. I am but no, he just said that he was very endeared by the hospitality of the De Vargas and his compliments to the management, and then he was on his way. You know, now that you bring it up, he did actually request a telegram service. We do run one in an attachment at the hotel, so he did
Where to?
pay for a telegram. She kind of like looks at you and goes, well, if that's not something you're aware of, I don't think it is within my acceptable levels as an employee to disclose private telegrams.
I apologize. I have to be frank. We need to find him. We got the sheriff just outside with us. If you have any information, we're gonna need it.
The sheriff, might I
If you want me
inquire?
to, I can go and bring him.
Ooh. Ooh, this is the key we're not her going, ooh. God, that would have been
Ooh,
weird.
Ooh, oh no, I've been
Yes.
had. Pulls off mask.
The
Actually,
sheriff?
Peter Haas. Discovered me again.
You caught me once more. No. God,
Damn you, Peru.
This is the last time you foil my plans.
I had your bags in my hands. No,
He just really wants our
Scheiße.
bag, man.
Scheiße. Click, click. Anyway, God. She says, if the sheriff Shoemaker, if he's
ma'am.
outside,
What's that one?
I would not mind speaking with him if the sheriff's with you, if this really is a matter of some pertinent immediacy.
I'll go get him.
Absolutely,
Sybil
I
just immediately just goes.
Yeah, the sheriff walks in and just
Mason
goes,
turns to walk. Sybil's already gone. Mason
James
turns back
pats
around.
Mason's.
She's
James
too
pats
fast.
Mason's shoulder.
too fast. I turn around and she's gone. It's like
She really likes to help, buddy.
Can I get you gentlemen anything to drink, by the way?
Mason realizes how parched he is from being in Madrid, a long fucking car ride here, and sitting in a goddamn.
You've
metal
also
walk
had
for a
probably
while.
several cups of coffee by now at the sheriff's office.
I could do with a little bit of water.
James woke up this morning in a hospital bed. Immediately went to a bar to start nonstop drinking.
Yeah, you're not
Then
feeling great.
Got
You're not feeling great.
then got arrested and
Yeah.
drank several cups of coffee. I could
Yes.
use some water.
Yeah, and
It's a water
presumably,
kind of day, you know?
and presumably a toilet. So she gets you guys some water. And says,
Hold my
pleasure."
hair back, Mason.
Sheriff's walked in. Says, and you know, like, says, let me get a handle. He like looks at you and says, "You think this is pertinent to the what we're dealing with?"
Hey, when we
Yes.
disappeared,
All right,
he turned the whole camp. Oh wait, no, she's outside. I thought he walked
Yeah.
back inside. Sorry.
give me
He
a
wasn't with us when we
yeah.
first.
Give me
Fuck.
a moment with the concierge. Speaks with
Right.
Joanna Daisy in private for a moment, and you know you can't really hear the conversation. They're kind of like talking quietly, but like Joanna like relents and like nods and says, "Okay, well, all right. If this is related to an investigation, let me find the records of what was sent. This will take a few minutes. We sent a lot of telegrams today." She walks off into a back room.
While she does that, Sybil's like, we should check our bags.
Good idea.
The mask.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah. The last time we know, Mason was holding on to it while we were drinking, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I took it from Peter. Did I? I didn't put it in my bag. I would. No.
You had his entire suitcase.
Yeah, it had its own like personal bag.
Do we have the bag that Peter Haas had the mask in? Because I took it from him.
That was Sybil's suitcase. You have like Sybil's suitcase is here, but the mask isn't inside of it.
I'm oh. Well, no, I just mean it's like whenever Peter gave us the mask, it was still in that bag.
It was still in.
It was still. He had like a little bag where he was keeping the mask.
Oh
in,
right,
and then
sorry,
Mason
my bad.
took it from him.
Yes, that's correct. Sorry. Yes, my bad. My wires got crossed. Yes, the mask is not anywhere to be found. But everything else you own is there, except for Mason. One of your nicer shirts is not there.
Son of a bitch! One of my nicer shirts. What am I? Oh no, I got shot of my nice shirt. Fuck.
You can take my mask, you can take my fucking shoulder,
Is,
but don't take my shirts.
No, you don't understand. Those shirts were. Those are my work shirts. Those are my work clothes.
Are
You
my
said you did.
doctoring supplies there, or
They are. Your doctoring
Okay.
supplies are there.
good?
So what I'm speculating is that I was wearing one of my nice shirts, and that's when I got shot. Now, man, I'm pissed.
Unfortunate.
Mr.
So-
Allen, I think you can afford another
My
nice
fucking-
shirt now.
Well, I certainly can now, but I couldn't before. And now that I know that I have my money, I shouldn't be worrying about it. But Xander, was it
So
the purple one?
It was the purple one.
So I just kind of have to mention it.
Yes.
There's a German guy's case.
We have the bag. Yeah, it's just no mask.
The bag is you have the bag, just no mask.
Just no mask.
right here.
Mask gone.
No mask.
Who
So
wants to bet that our friend made off
Took it.
with the mask?
Sal.
So a moment later,
there you go.
Joanna Daisy walks out and says, "Here's a copy of the telegram that your friend had written before checking out. It's in Spanish, so hopefully you can speak it because
Sybil waves her
cool.
hand.
I'm gonna read the Google Translate version of the telegram first, but then I'll read the English translation. Xander the Keeper does not take any responsibility for how bad of a translation Google Translate may have done on this, so it's fine.
Uh-oh.
Just don't make me read it.
Yeah, no. The telegram says, "Los locos zantanos ya no son una preocupación. Prepárate para mi regreso con J.E." So, and then it's S.S.
Jackson Elias!
So, yes, it is. So, in English, it says, "The Xanthus crazies are no longer a concern. Stop. Prepare for my return with J.E. Stop. S.S."
That asshole!
Sal fucking kidnapped Jackson!
He fucking kidnapped Jackson!
He fucking kidnapped Jackson!
I'm gonna kick his ass.
He kidnapped Jackson!
Apparently,
and
we
stole
didn't
a
shoot
mask!
the right person.
Gonna have to beat the shit out of a Spaniard.
I'm gonna have to beat the shit out of somebody. These hands are good for many things. I'm gonna have to beat someone up with these.
Hey,
Well,
Gonna
you're
beat someone up
first.
with these.
thank you, Joanna. Thank you for your help.
You're very welcome. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Actually, before we go, I would like to send a telegram if possible.
I'd be more than happy. She grabs like a pen and paper. What would you like to send and where to?
Okay, so out of character,
Yes.
I haven't done a lot of research into how telegrams are sent, so I'm not really sure how one would like address one, so to speak.
There is so the way telegrams work. There are multiple different companies for the U.S. If we're sending telegrams locally, is pretty easy. Basically, you just need to tell them. Most of it is handled by the telegram company that it's being done through. So mostly, you just need to provide an address that the telegram is going to be sent to, a recipient, and you pay by the letter. A few cents per letter. So it is up to you how you want to phrase a telegram. Typically, telegrams are blunt and to the point, but you can phrase it however you like.
Okay. In that case, Kit will sort of like pause, take a moment to think, and rattle off his address, or rather
Cool.
his mother and sister's address in Boston, and make out the telegram to his sister, Erin Sullivan, and will say, "Erin, sorry for the delay. All is safe. Business should be wrapping up soon. Much love, Kate. Still in New Mexico."
Yeah, easy. Joanna Daisy writes it down and says, "All right, thank you very much, sir," and we'll send that.
Right. Well, shall we get to that church?
Nah, none of you need to send anything off or call anyone.
I mean,
Sadly, anyone I would is overseas. Can't
Oh.
really do that.
I guess. Sybil thinks was like, when's the last time you contacted your butler / sort of caretaker?
I will ask you, by the way, at any point in the lobby, quietly otherwise, has anyone brought up the fact that you don't remember anything or any part of the events that have transpired the last few days?
No.
No?
No.
Cool.
We haven't mentioned it yet.
Cool.
I was going to with the sheriff before he went to go visit the concierge.
Cool, it's
but-
okay. Just double checking. Cool. So sheriff says, "All right, well, if you're done here, shall we go down to the church?"
There is one question that since it was brought up, now I'm thinking about it and I'm just like, it wouldn't be hurtful to ask her. Sunil goes over to Daisy and he's like, just a question.
Yes, sir.
For my book, I need to write it down.
Sure.
How many days will we here?
Hey, Sunil.
Uh,
I need you to just give me a fast talk check real quick.
Fuck! Is there any... God.
Fast talk?
Yes, make a fast talk check, please.
Oh, that's bad.
That's a shame. If only
That's a shame.
someone
If
else
only
could
it was-
fast talk for you.
If only it was a persuasion check. God, I have to find it.
Fast talk will be on the left side under the arts and crafts skills.
F for fast talk.
F for fast.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
What's your fast talk, Sunil?
It's 5.
Roll that.
What the fuck?
Great, cool. So moving on. She like looks at you, and there's like a kind of moment of like her like, you know, hospitality face kind of like melts away into like a genuine like confusion, but also like a light concern, and just goes, "Of course, sir. You and your friend stayed here at the De Vargas Hotel for 5 days."
Is she lying?
Actually, no, sorry. She said 6 days. She would have said 6 days.
6 days.
I'd say you rolled a hard success on psychology earlier, so I'll let a little bit of leaking over of reading on her face. No, but she seems to be a little intrigued because something is striking her as interesting. But like, nothing seems like a lie. She's there's something. Yeah, it's hard. It
doesn't seem like she's like hiding anything at all.
No, it seems like she's noticing something, but she's not hiding anything. And she kind of says, "There you go." She kind of like then like looks at all of you, but then like nods and like puts a smile back on her face and says, "Well, sorry for some confusion, but I hope you all have a pleasant rest of your day and your stay here in Santa Fe. And if you ever need anything from the De Vargas Hotel, we are always our doors are always open to new guests."
Well, thank you very kindly. And Mason flashes a smile. Just
Well,
a little.
like nods her head. Sheriff says, "All right, let's peel out. Come on."
Okay.
And
Cops!
this lady's got some really fucked up enthusiasm.
Yep.
You get used to it.
Yeah,
I kind of like it.
Hell.
I do too.
it's my feeling.
And the 5 of you set off to go to the church of the supposed disciples of the Xanthist item. And we will close the book on that chapter for now. For this week.
Lovely.
We.
So Sal fucking kidnapped Jackson.
What the
So I
fuck?
fucking kidnapped Jackson and stole y'all's mask.
And he stole our fucking mask.
Still our
A
fucking
lot of
mask.
assumptions there. Buds.
You know, that's a very good point. We could have lost the mask at any time between.
That's
Peter
true.
Haas could have just been like.
It's true. He
Xanthias,"
might
like-
he might not have taken the mask, but at the very least, you know, he has a telegram about Elias that's suspicious. So
Like
I
like
need
it
to hear
seems
the
like even if
telegram,
what was that, bro?
I need to hear the telegram again, actually.
The English translation was, "The Xanthist crazies are no longer a concern. Prepare for my return with the J.E. signed SS."
Okay.
Salvador Suarez.
Yeah, no, like even if his original intent was not to kidnap Elias, it sounds like it certainly went from one kidnapping to another.
I just heard with JE, and I'm gonna take that advantage.
What if those people nabbing Jackson and us pursuing them? What if it was just like a part of the whole thing for us to trust Sal?
I'm just glad that Xander is allowing us to have this post-session talk before we go into the post
Yeah,
show. Because all of this,
I allow it. Yeah.
Because here's my running theory. So
Well,
I'm thinking that the folks that probably grabbed Elias might have already been Sal's people.
No,
Because Sal had
crazy.
eyes. Sal had fucking eyes all over Jackson whenever we got on the train.
I mean, yes, he was like a fan. And yes, I think maybe he was like, looking for Jackson rather than anything else. I don't think the church were affiliated. I think it's a lucky break for Sal.
I don't think the church was affiliated either. I don't think the church kidnapped Jackson. I think what we probably happened was that we pursued them, then we got Jackson back, and then Sal fucking took Jackson again.
Right, because he mentioned
here's
that.
the thing. He said that the church crazies were taken care of. What if he kidnapped Jackson Elias, then he pinned it on the church, and we were like, I mean, fuck yeah, they're creepy as hell. And so we went after the church, and then, so we took out the church for Sal, and then he was like, I mean, cool, all my problems are solved. Time to drop him in the fucking desert, and then he went. And that's what happened.
Which would explain why there was the fucking ritual, or whatever the fuck it was that made us lose our memory for the week. So that we can't pin anything on him.
Exactly.
So with that, we're going to move to the post show here on the live side of things. For everyone else who's watching on YouTube, thank you so much. And to everybody who came out tonight, thank you for watching. To my players, thank you for playing. We will see you next week as we now enter the last 3 episodes of Call of Cthulhu Path of Perdition. Things are taking an interesting turn. When will the other shoe drop is the question. Until then, Cthulhu Fatagan. Drive home safe, everyone.
Cthulhu Fatagan.
See ya.